Thanksgiving is a time to reflect. For instance, I'm grateful that I'm watching college football on TV instead of getting my bell rung on the gridiron. Hey, we're ringing in the season with a college football doubleheader. First up, there's a score to settle in the Grand Canyon State as Arizona State and Arizona square off in the duel in the desert. Then, the nation's leading rusher, LaDainian Tomlinson, leads 13th-ranked TCU against the Mustangs of SMU. But first, it's time to tango in Tucson. Emotions are always high in this interstate grudge match, but today they are off the scale. A win for ASU today would send the Sun Devils bowling in Hawaii and delay Coach Bruce Snyder's predetermined walk into the sunset for one more game. The Wildcats are also one victory away from a bowl game. More importantly, a win today might decide the ultimate fate of their head coach, Dick Tomey.
It's the duel in the desert.
Load 'em if you got 'em, boys. The Battle of Arizona is next. Fox Sports Net.
Much at stake today in Tucson. The winner between Arizona and Arizona State becomes bowl eligible, but more importantly, a Sun Devils win could earn Bruce Snyder one more game as the team's coach. Welcome inside the College Football Saturday studio for this special edition of College Football Saturday alongside Kellen Winslow and Artie Gigantino. I'm Kevin Frazier, and right off the bat, Kellen, what does Arizona State have to do to win this game?
They've got to play great defense, and their defense is led by their senior, Adam Archuleta. He was a walk-on as a freshman, has since earned a scholarship. Only 6 feet tall, only 208 pounds, but he's got the heart of a lion, always going fast, always going hard. Archuleta leads the team in tackles, Artie, and also has 14 tackles for losses.
You know, you look at this game, and both teams are equal, obviously, with their record. They've had a lot of problems and a lot of things to distract them off the field. But for Arizona to win this game today, they've got to start strong. They've got to start fast, play good in the first quarter. Second thing they've got to do is get ready, because Arizona State's going to throw the ball deep and often. They got to play good on pass defense. And lastly, and certainly not least, they've got to hold on to the football, because Arizona State has had 33 takeaways this year. Arizona cannot cough up the ball. They got to secure it.
Hold on to it.
Hold on to that, baby.
Thanks, Artie. We will return with scores and highlights on the Nissan Halftime Report. But right now, let's join our crew in Tucson. Steve Biziak and Tom Ramsey. And guys, can the Sun Devils extend Bruce Snyder's tenure for one more game?
Well, there are so many stories you could talk about. All of the injuries that both clubs have suffered this year, the tenuous coaching situations at both universities, but they still have that one thing to play for, Kevin, and that is a bowl at the end of this rainbow.
Well, Steve, the reality is this. Both teams come in at 500, 5 wins. They need the 6th win to go to the Pac-10 Bowl alignment, which is one of the 2 Christmas Day bowls. And I tell you what, if you're either team, those little umbrella drinks, palm trees, they sound good to me.
Right now they do, but college football certainly will lose. One of their class gentlemen, Bruce Snyder, was fired 9 days ago at Arizona State, but Bruce said he has never quit anything, and if the Sun Devils win today, he will coach through the bowl. Now, he has had a quarterback situation that has been weird all season long.
Well, in my estimation, Bruce Snyder has done so much with so little, and no disrespect to Jeff Cron, but he's the 3rd starting quarterback this year for the ASU Sun Devils. The one thing that Cron does possess, a great touchdown to interception ratio, 12-5. He's going to be tested, though, today against a tough Arizona defense.
And Rams, the Arizona's coaching situation is still on edge. I mean, there are rumors swirling around the university about Dick Tomey. And here's a guy who almost won the national championship 2 years ago.
Well, Dick Tomey's one of the best motivators in all of football. And I tell you what, they've lost 4 straight. They got to somehow rebound. And the fellow that can rebound them today, none other than Ortiz Jenkins. The senior quarterback comes in. He hasn't had a great year. But I tell you what, the one thing he has to do this game today, Steve, be very effective on 3rd down. They're last in the Pac-10 in 3rd down conversions.
One great thing about Arizona State, they've been able to come up with big play after big play this year. That means Cron has to go deep, and he has a golden retriever to go to in Todd Heap, his tight end. Jeff Cron to Heap. And for Arizona, the combination of run and pass with Ortiz Jenkins. He is so dangerous for the Wildcats. It's time to begin the Southwest rivalry. Here come the Sun Devils and the home team Wildcats. Welcome back to Arizona Stadium in Tucson for the 74th meeting between Arizona State and Arizona. This is a rivalry that goes back 101 years. The Wildcats lead the series 42-30-1. Our sideline reporter is Lewis Johnson. And Lewis, this is a game not only for a bowl and state pride, but for both of these coaches in difficult circumstances.
Really is, Stephen. I saw a lot of emotion before this game started during warm-ups. I watched the players and coaches come over to Bruce Snyder, the fired coach, and sort of give him their best wishes. And talking to Snyder this week, he said that once he let his team know about him being fired, he immediately set his priorities, and they were as follows. Number one, get the team ready for this cross-state rivalry. Number two, he said, is that after the season was over, he would do everything in his power to help his staff find positions around the country, even if it meant flying with him to other job opportunities. And last of all, he said somewhere down the line, he'll try to find some time for himself and decide what he'll do next. But even as he coaches this game today, Bruce Snyder is already reflecting on the people that have made his time in college football very special.
I'd like to thank all the players that I've had over the years. I've coached 38 years, assistant and head. If it weren't for them and the staff members that I've had, it would not be much of a joy, and yet they've made it terrific. So hopefully I've had an impact on their life. If that's fine, but I know this, they've had an impact on my life, and I want to thank them for that.
Well, the day after Thanksgiving, and Bruce Snyder able to smile and have a lot to be thankful for as he ends his tenure as the Arizona State coach, Steve.
And Bruce Snyder will finish his 9th year at Arizona State, his 57 wins, second most in Tempe, to legendary Frank Kush. Dick Tomey, meantime, is the dean of the Pac-10. 14 years at Arizona. He is one of only 3 coaches to have been the winningest coaches at 2 different schools, Hawaii and Arizona. The other guys, the great Bear Bryant of Kentucky and Alabama, and George Welch of Navy and Virginia. Here is Andre Thurman, and he is mugged by Josh Amobi. There is a flag on the field. Arizona won the toss and deferred to the second half. Arizona will have the football first on offense. Chuck McFerrin is the lead official. And here is the offense for Arizona. Ortiz Jenkins, a 6'2 senior from Long Beach, California. 8 touchdowns, but 11 interceptions. And he had a sprained ankle in his last game against Oregon State. His backs and receivers, Clarence Farmer, more yards rushing as a true freshman than any other player in the history of Arizona. Bobby Wade is their big play wide receiver. The offensive line has been beaten up and battered the entire season. Mekhi Freitas at right tackle is the only guy who is 100% healthy this afternoon. Penalty against Arizona, holding, and that will put the football back at the 10-yard line for the Wildcats. Manu Maliuna, their tight end, goes in motion. Clarence Farmer gets the carry, and Clarence about 2 yards, maybe 3 to the 13. Now the Sun Devils, they have a fine defensive line that is also young. Terrell Suggs, their youngest, just turned 18 in October. This guy has 8 sacks this year. Linebackers Adam Archuleta might be the defensive player of the year in the Pac-10 conference. He leads the conference with 113 tackles. The real problem is the secondary. Mactier Clay playing injured. So is Willie Daniels, Alfred Williams, and Josiah Igono, a sophomore who has only played 3 years of football, high school or college, will get the start. And that ball almost picked off as they set the screen up on the left side. Broken up by 6'8" Quincy Yancey. Well, Arizona State, look how special they've been on opening drives. They've forced 5 punts. They've also forced 5 turnovers.
They played like gangbusters out of the gate. I'll tell you what, Arizona, they've had a difficult time, especially 2 weeks ago versus Oregon State on 3rd down. Right now, a 3rd and 7. And 2 weeks ago against Oregon State, they were only 1 of 14 the whole game.
And they're splitting out. 3 to the right side. Jenkins was hit as he threw, and it is almost intercepted by Nigel Eason. Are they saying he held it? He picked it off. An incredible interception by Nigel Eason, who is playing with a groin injury. You're talking about stumbling and bumbling and still having the ability to get the football.
The pressure on Ortiz Jenkins, Solomon Bates, number 1, the middle linebacker, comes through and hits Jenkins' arms. But watch Nigel Eason. He comes in with 4 picks. This year, he picks up his 5th, laying flat on his back.
Wow. Jeff Braun is the quarterback. Sun Devils, great field position at the 33. Braun throws behind Johnny O'Neal, incomplete. Now let's set the Arizona State offense. We told you about Jeff Braun, who's a 6'2 former walk-on. He's a redshirt freshman. 12 touchdown passes this year, but what makes Jeff interesting, his father was a fine quarterback in the late 70s at Arizona. Backs and receivers. Hightower will start at tailback. Williams, O'Neal, Heap have combined for 17 touchdown catches this year. The offensive line is strong. Peters and Leyva might be all-conference performers at the end of the season. On 2nd down, Braun throwing deep. Incomplete. Jolivet breaks it up. Jermaine Chapman also in the area, number 23, the junior from Compton, California. Richard Williams was the intended receiver.
With Chapman racing down the field playing catch-up, he is all over Williams. And tell you what, right there, he throws his hand up like, I didn't touch him, but he mauls Williams. And you know what, though? I like the call. I like the no call. Let him play. I like the no call.
He hit him.
He hit him,
He couldn't get his arms up.
It's football.
It's 3rd and 10. Braun again going sideline, has his man Williams, and Richard gets the first down by 8 yards. Now the Wildcats defensively, 2nd total defense this year. Their line is very strong, but they're missing Joe Tafoya, all-conference end for the first half because of suspension. Alex Luna will start in his spot. Keone Frazier,
the remainder of the half that it occurred, and then you sit out the first half of the next game, and there's Tafoya right there. He had 3 sacks in their last game against the Beavers, and he's been such a strong part of that Arizona defense.
Look at him. You see how bad he was in the game?
He's a bad dude.
Williams is hit by Jolivet. They are ruling the play into Forsythe to save it. But Jolivet, they love this kid because he not only has a great speed and great athlete, but he's a tremendous competitor.
Jolivet, he's on the other side, back, but right there comes in, explodes into the receiver, and tackles. He also has 5 interceptions.
Now 3rd down, 9 yards to go. They split out Todd Heap to the right side. Watch that tight end. Braun will throw away from him in the air, incomplete at the 10-yard line. 4th and 9. Chapman with his 2nd breakup of this drive. Well, I like the corner future at Arizona. Chapman, just a junior. He'll be back next year. And Jolivet, their best cornerback, only a redshirt freshman. So it's time to bring on Mike Bart. And Barth will be attempting one from 39 yards out, 12 of 20 this year, including a couple of game winners. The one over Washington State in overtime. Mike pumps it up. And it is good. And Arizona State takes the early lead over Arizona. It all started with the Nigel Eason acrobatic interception. Wow. College Football Saturday on Fox Sports Net is brought to you by True Value, where help is just around the corner. The city of Tucson is surrounded by 4 mountain ranges, the Santa Ritas to the east, the Rincons to the south, Tucson's to the west, and the Santa Catalitas to the north. Well, they have seen Arizona State score first, and the Sun Devils scored first for the 9th time in 11 games this year. 3-0 Sun Devils. This young man wants to kick it off with a bang.
Returners for Arizona, very dangerous, especially Bobby Wade.
Bang does bang it through the end zone. So the Wildcats will start their offense at the 20-yard line. Dick Tomey is their coach. I mean, they've suffered some tough losses this year. Lost after having a lead against Washington. In the locker room, he said he would not trade this team for any in the conference. And he said, we will have our day yet because we are together.
Well, he's one guy. He's 8 in terms of all-time winningest Pac-10 coaches. Dick Tomey is. He's also the winningest coach in 2 different programs. Look at the cluster up top. 4 receivers.
And they have only 3 DBs on them. They swing it out, and he throws incomplete to Bobby Wade. And that has been part of the problem of Ortiz. His accuracy has been so inconsistent.
And that ball, they're going to rule it a lateral, Steve. Ortiz Jenkins had so much heat on that ball. And, you know, a team is reflective as the quarterback. Ortiz Jenkins, even though they won early in the season, look at the numbers right there. And 47%, 60% a year ago. I tell you, you got to remember, he started out on fire.
He'll stay with the 4, and they'll try it again. Bobby Wade. Art Urletta is right there for the tackle. Let's go down on the field to Lewis Johnson.
Hey, Steve, before the game today, I talked to Arizona offensive coordinator Dino Babers, and I asked him about the potential emotional onslaught of the Arizona State defense the first couple of series. He said absolutely. He told his guys to be ready because their coach has been fired. They've got a bowl game that's hanging in the balance, and what Jenkins has done has been the exact opposite of what they've hoped would have happened the first couple of series.
Well, Lewis, they send 4 down to the bottom of the screen. And they'll swing it to Wade. And Wade is to the 20 and breaks a tackle. He needs to get to the 30. I believe he stepped out of bounds, and let's see with a mark. I thought he stepped out at the 28, but they're marking it very close to the 30-yard line. They'll do anything to get the ball in Wade's hands.
Well, Steve, what you end up doing in a game with so much familiarity, you want to do things differently. Right here, watch Wade. He'll just come back, and Ortiz Jenkins will fire the ball outside, and then you got 3 guys out in front blocking, and right there, it's a numbers game. If you can match up mano a mano and get the ball to your speedy wideout, I'll tell you what, it's not a bad play call.
Hey, he was out of bounds at the 28. We saw that left foot out of bounds, but they mark it across the 30, so they get the first down. Manu Maliuna, and Brandon gets another first down. And Dick Tomey told us the most frustrating thing this year is not getting Brandon the ball enough. He said he should be catching 5 to 6 balls per game. He has only 9 catches all year.
That's his 10th catch all year long. I'm telling you what, if I was on his team, he would have 5 catches a game. Brandon Manu Maliuna, the big tight end. I tell you, he's a great blocker, but he's also very adept at racing downfield and catching the ball.
How about this look that Arizona's showing? Now, quarterback draw. Jenkins past the 45, gains about 3 to the 46. Terrell Suggs in the tackle, number 48, the true freshman from Chandler, Arizona.
And I'll tell you the reason they're spreading Arizona State out, because at times Phil Snow, the defensive coordinator for Arizona State, will stack 9 guys close to the line of scrimmage, and this way Dino Babers, the offensive coordinator of Arizona, says, hey, look, we're going to spread these guys out. We're going to put them out on an island, put 4 guys wide, put the tight end left, see what happens.
Jenkins, Manu Maliuna, incomplete at the 30-yard line, and he had about 1.5 yards on the defensive back, Mactier Clay.
And Steve, one of the items coming into this game, the Arizona offense in the papers out in Tucson, the Arizona offense has been criticized in being too conservative. And I would say this right now, this is answering a lot of questions. This is not conservative football. Again, 4 wides at the top of the screen.
Dead last in the Pac-10 offensively this year in just about every single category. Jenkins breaks free. Ortiz, first down inside the 35-yard line. Willie Daniel with a touchdown-saving tackle.
What's interesting, when they spread everybody out, watch, guard comes, kicks out, and then Jenkins is just right up underneath the big pulling guard. You see him, oh, big number 71. That's Marcus McFadden, comes around, gets a nice block on the defensive end, and then you see Ortiz Jenkins, his ability to get up the field.
Jenkins again loops it. Manu Maliuna, broken up beautifully. Kristen Rance. What I marvel at, though, Tom, is the way he's keeping just 5 linemen into block, and they're all injured.
Well, they've really had, Steve, 8 different starting lineups up front of that offensive line, and the offensive line coach, Charlie Dickey, Dick Tomey told me before the game, he said, you know, Charlie Dickey should get Coach of the Year honors just for managing the 5 guys blocking up front. And sure enough, one of those guys jumps.
Well, I will say this. How about the injuries to the offensive line? 2 out for the season, and Makoa Freitas and Stephen Grace, both of them all Pac-10 performers, and 6 of your 7 other top offensive linemen are suffering. McFadden, Wiggins, Barry, Higginbotham, Sampe, Safranek have all been hobbled with injuries, particularly the last 6 weeks of the season.
Boy, and I tell you, you know, it affects everything from the run game to the pass offense to total offense. We saw they're dead last in the Pac-10 and they're last in pass offense as well. It starts putting little doubts in the quarterback's mind. Hey, am I going to get drilled in the back?
A false start against Arizona. Jenkins play action. Here comes Suggs. He breaks free, and Jenkins looking. Ortiz diving forward, gets past the original line of scrimmage near the 31. Solomon Bates on the tackle. Tommy Townsend, number 99 from Las Vegas, Nevada, also helping out.
They're going to have a problem blocking Terrell Suggs, the defensive end, the true freshman defensive end. Comes in 4th in the Pac-10 with 8 sacks, 6'5", 240-pounder. He was a running back in high school a year ago.
And not just a running back, a great running back. Ran for over 2,000 yards and 26 touchdowns. But Bruce Snyder said, young man, you want to play defensive end? He said, any way to get on the field, coach. Bobby Wade. Bobby Wade. First down. 1st and goal to the 8. Nigel Eason with a touchdown-saving tackle. 23 on the play.
Well, right now, Bobby Wade, watch him. He's in the slot, works down, and boy, you talk about being in sync right there. Ortiz Jenkins finding his man, the playmaker, Bobby Wade.
3 catches already for Bobby. That's 40 on the season. Outstanding quarterback in high school at Desert Vista in Phoenix. He came south to play in Tucson. Big hole, Clarence Farmer to the 4. This is the true freshman from Houston, Texas. Adam Archuleta on the tackle. Farmer broke Antoine Carter's true freshman record of 577 yards with 584 coming into this game. He's a big, strong back at 6 foot, 200 pounds.
Clarence Farmer, another true freshman.
2nd and goal. Jenkins likes to option. Instead, he gives it to Clarence, and Clarence is hammered at the 3. Oh, what a hit by Tommy Townsend, number 99, and Solomon Bates. Bates, number 1, who is that sophomore from Moreno Valley, California.
Well, Bates just unloads on him right at the line of scrimmage. Farmer, I'll tell you, he is no slouch. He is a big kid, and then the helmets start flying. Watch as Bates comes in here right there. There goes his helmet. Wow.
Double tight. Jenkins does like the option on this, and he will as he's trying to roll away from pressure. Ortiz is out of bounds. Ooh, a late hit, too. I do not see a flag as Suggs ran him out. That guy's got some kind of speed at 6'5", 240.
Well, sometimes you just have to take a loss. If you slow it down, I mean, all of a sudden the guys are covered. Then he does take the late shot out of bounds. Sometimes you just got to throw the thing away.
Now Sean Keel. It's been a strong year for Sean. He's missed only 4 field goals, and 2 were from beyond 50 yards. This from 26. We are tied at 3. 8 minutes, 21 seconds remaining in the first quarter. Southwest rivalry of Arizona and Arizona State all locked up at 3. Dick Tomey, you saw just talking with Ortiz Jenkins as he visits with his offensive coordinator Dino Babers. He just took him 72 yards on 14 plays. Result, a Sean Keel 25-yard field goal. Ortiz with a nice start after he threw an interception, but his arm was hit by a defensive lineman, and the ball fluttered through the air and picked up by Nigel Eason. Arizona State has Sean McDonald and Richard Williams, 2 flyers back deep with 4.3 speed in the 40-yard dash. Out of bounds. Arizona State will start with very good field position. A Sunday, we're bringing the tailgate party to you with NFL This Morning on Fox Sports Net, the most raucous and rocking Sunday morning pregame show anywhere. This week, Chris Myers, Jay Moore, and the rest of the Breakfast Bunch discuss if Ray Lewis is the best player in the NFL. Jackie Slater gives the Chargers a game plan to beat the Chiefs, and a live interview with Vikings coach Dennis Green. NFL This Morning at 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific, only on Fox Sports Net. Some Wildcat fans getting ready not only for this game, but a game on Fox Sports Net this coming Wednesday when Gonzaga is in town. They'll play Arizona. Bruce Snyder has his quarterback Jeff Cron, who he gave a scholarship to at the beginning of the season. Cron back, firing, incomplete. Arizona, the #1 team in the nation in basketball, coached by Lute Olson. They won't have Lauren Woods for a while, but they won down in Hawaii. Now they come home, and I think it is going to be a rocket on Wednesday. And a game you can watch on Fox Sports Net because it's going to be sold out.
Well, the basketball team can come back and tell their fellow brethren, hey, Hawaii's not bad this time of year.
Because that is the bowl that Arizona and Arizona State are shooting for. Tom Pace with the run, short gain across the 35.
Steve, talking to John Pettis, the offensive coordinator, before the game, you know, I said, hey, what are you going to do before the, you know, what do you do against this tough Arizona defense? They have to spread them out a little bit. Spread Todd Heap, get him into the equation. He's had some big games against the Wildcats, but if you split them out like they're doing right now, they got to commit. I think you got to double cover Todd Heap right there in the slot.
They're showing the strong safety on his side, and they will double Heap. Cron throws. Donnie O'Neal with a first down catch inside Arizona territory.
And that's exactly what happened. They split Heap out into the slot. They double cover him. Jarvie Worcester right there. He's doubling on number 80 Heap. It leaves one-on-one, man-to-man on the outside. I tell you, Donnie O'Neal, the number 2 receiver for the Arizona State Sun Devils, comes down with a first down.
Verizon presents First and 10 all season long on Fox Sports Net. College Football Saturday. Verizon making the world of communications a whole lot simpler. Cron throws back. Richard Williams with the catch, but Jolivet had his jersey and just would not let it go. Only 2 yards in the catch. And there's Richard, the senior from Miami, Florida. And Jolivet, who's a freshman, and I think he is going to develop into one of the outstanding cornerbacks in the Pac-10 the next 3 years.
And I won't argue with you. We know he's tough as nails. He's had 5 interceptions this year, equaling the team high of last year. But right there, Steve, he makes a play. If he doesn't make that play and grab Williams by the jersey, Williams is to the house for a score.
2nd down, 8 yards to go. Double tight end. They give it to Tom Pace, and he wiggles his way for a couple more before Antonio Pierce makes the tackle. But this is where you were talking about spreading it out, because Arizona's #1 in the conference versus the run. They're only allowing 90 yards per game on the ground.
And Rich Ellerson said this, the Arizona defensive coordinator, don't invite them, don't encourage them to run. Meaning, hey, if they start getting on track, they can be very dangerous. And right there, you see the numbers on the run defense, only allowing 2.5 yards a carry.
Showing blitz from Lance Briggs. And Lance comes, but they pick him up. Cron throws through the hands of Todd Heap. Incomplete, 4th down. Jeff Cron, the redshirt freshman from Phoenix Horizon High School, trying to find a city mate, Todd Heap, who went to Mason Mountain View. And there's John Pettis, your old friend. Nick Murphy. How about this? 24 punts pinned inside the 20-yard line. Only 7 touchbacks. That is a very good ratio. He angles it towards the sideline. Fair catch at the 7-yard line by Bobby Wade. We are tied at 3, Arizona and Arizona State. This is a wonderful Southwest rivalry between Arizona State and Arizona. They have met every year since 1946. And how about last year's game? Both teams, if they win, would go to a bowl game. Arizona State won. I've never heard of a game having over 1,000 yards total offense with no turnovers.
That's tough to do.
Well, here come the Sun Devils, or the Wildcats, from their own 8-yard line. Leo Mills, who has been banged up, is the lone setback. And they'll give it to Leo. And Leo breaks free. And Mills out past the 20 for a 1st down and a late flag. Willie Daniel with maybe a little bit too much emotion.
A little too much emotion and a little too late after the play.
After the play, dead ball, personal foul, late hit on the defense, 15 yards, 1st down.
I know it's tempting for players to take this shot right here, but he came in with his head down too. Watch this, leading the butt of his helmet. I mean, you know, that's 3-4 yards out of bounds. I mean, that's just uncalled for. And if you're Bruce Snyder, these are the sorts of mistakes that have just piled up on you over this last season and created an ouster for your job.
And they want to slow down Jenkins, because if he gets the hot hand, he can continue with that. He is a streaky quarterback. Leo Mills for about 4 yards, and Mills is then pushed back and a little late contact. But Mills, just a few weeks ago, ran for 185 yards, and Alfred Williams now supporting his teammate Willie Daniel, who was just flagged on that last personal foul. Where they have big physical safeties. Williams, sophomore, 6'3", 210. Daniel, a junior, 6'2", 203. Those are like outside linebackers.
I'm impressed with Arizona's offense, Steve. I think they went back and looked at the Oregon State film 2 weeks ago and found themselves to be conservative. And they said, it's not going to happen in our biggest rival game.
Jenkins in the shotgun. Ortiz will take off. Solomon Bates hits him, but I believe Ortiz had enough for a 1st down.
He's got to keep an eye on that Verizon yellow line, make sure he can lean ahead and get it. The end steps up. He's pretty elusive in the pocket here. He steps up and then all of a sudden pulls down and elects to run. And, you know, if you're a quarterback, you always want to keep an eye towards the sideline, find out where those chains are. He's going to come up very short.
3rd and 1. Bill Snow, Arizona State defensive coordinator, said number one key, don't let O.J. run around and control the clock. He did on that last play. They run. 1st down, Leo Mills. And Mills is really playing with a very difficult shoulder injury.
Yeah, Arizona's been banged up front, but one guy you got to keep an eye on if you're the Arizona front lineman, Steve, is number 40, Adam Archuleta, top linebacker in the Pac-10, 113 tackles coming in, averaging over 11 a game. And I marvel at with Archuleta, who's right there at linebacker, 72% of his tackles are solo tackles.
Jenkins takes off again, this time read beautifully, and Danny Masaniai will make the tackle.
Well, Masaniai's been a guy, he's a big guy in that defensive front. He's been out in some games. He had a high ankle sprain. He was unavailable for about 3 or 4 games, and another 300-pound JC transfer for Bruce Snyder. Bruce Snyder's done a great job being able to get into the JC level and really picking out some stellar players.
Bobby Wade goes in motion. They run the reverse to Bobby. This is the 4th time they have put that football in his hands, 3 on receptions. This and a run. He gains nothing, and it is 3rd down and passing situation with about 12, 13 to go.
A little bit of a deception play here. It's a play that the Oklahoma Sooners run, but that one looks like it's in slow motion right there. It just never got started, and if you look at how Oklahoma runs it, they look like they get shot out of a cannon.
Jenkins goes shotgun. Arizona splits out 3. Wade to the top of your screen.
You got to be behind the white line. It's not my fault.
Oh, somebody was in the neutral zone. It may have been Suggs. Jenkins fires. Is that catch made? Wow, what a catch by Melosi Leonard. But they may get a free 5 yards right here, and it'll be 3rd and about 8 rather than 4th and 1. That's a tough decision for Bruce.
Nice job by Jenkins using his cadence at time. I believe it was Suggs he pulled off. Jenkins over there talking to Chuck McFerrin. I like the way Jenkins continued to play through the play. He didn't let the flags or the whistles distract him. Sure, it's either a 4th and 1 or a 3rd and 8. Choose your poison.
Offsides on the defense. That penalty being forced from the previous spot. 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
So they'll take the 3rd and 8. Keep an eye on Ortiz Jenkins. He's getting roughed up. Quincy Yancey right there. Kurt Wallen just draped all over him. But Jenkins, 220-pounder, able to get the ball up.
I thought so.
Well, but you know what? I love it when receivers come up. It reminds me, Norm Anderson, the old receivers coach at UCLA, used to say, hey, if it's questionable, hold it up in the air and let the ref know you caught it. And sometimes you'll get the call.
That's what every Gold Glove outfielder does, whether they trap it or not. Sell the play. Now 3rd down, 7 yards to go. Blitz is on. Jenkins scrambles. Ortiz in trouble. Manu Maliuna could not make the catch. He was right at the Verizon line, which would have been a 1st down. Punting situation now for the Wildcats.
Ortiz Jenkins trying to make a Brett Favre type play and trying to underhand the ball to his big tight end, and goes incomplete.
Well, here is the much maligned Chris Palick, who has been in some bit of a Ramey Peru battle for that punting spot. He is 9th in the conference at 37 yards per punt and hits this one, trying to get it inside the 20, but right at the 19 is Sean McDonald. Well, Arizona State has had their trouble all year long. Bruce Snyder has not had his quarterback, Ryan Keeley, who was an outstanding starter through his career. Ryan hurt his knee on this play, only played 2 quarters the entire season. Then against Oregon, the fake field goal. They went for the win instead of sending it to another overtime. Todd Heap could not make the play. Against Stanford, everything went wrong, and after 3 overtime games in a row, Bruce Snyder said his team's gas tank was on empty. Sun Devils have it now. They've had 2 weeks off, so he said they've got plenty of fuel. As Devarin Hightower with the carry for about a 3-yard gain. It has been a rough year for Bruce, but here's a guy who's done a marvelous job. 96 Coach of the Year. Remember, they were 11-0. Takes him to the Rose Bowl. He has not had a healthy quarterback since.
National Coach of the Year. Pac-10 Coach of the Year. I mean, it's amazing. And Dick Tomey, I thought, gave him the best vote of confidence, which said, you know, if Bruce Snyder had won maybe 1 more game this year, maybe 2, I would have voted him Coach of the Year for everything he's had to fight through in terms of injuries, and you know, his resiliency has far outlasted any of his players.
There's a nice catch at the 31-yard line. Bringing it down, Ryan Denard, the junior from Albuquerque, New Mexico. But you're right, before the season begins, he loses one of the best running backs, not only in the conference, but in the nation, in Delvon Flowers. Then loses Brian Keeley to injury. How do you win without your top running back, with your top quarterback, and 4 DBs hurt?
Well, what's amazing, you start 3 different quarterbacks, and yet your pass offense is #1 in the Pac-10, #17 in the nation. I tell you what, that tells a whole lot. And of course, John Pettis, the offensive coordinator, is going to be hot. He's a hot commodity right now just because of the offense he runs. It is wide open.
And Rams, the critics will say, well, why didn't he go out and recruit a quarterback knowing that Ryan Keeley was injury prone? Well, there's the high school All-Americans. They see how good Keeley is, and they say, no, I want to go to a place where I know I'll start.
Well, you know, Keeley was a 32-game starter. You know, I mean, here's a guy who started forever, but there's a lot of opportunity in every program. You're only a play away at all times. And tell you, it's interesting, though, but Arizona State just had too many of those things happen to him this year.
Absolutely. And here in the Southwest Shootout, they are tied at 3. Nigel Eason with this tremendous interception that led to the ASU points. She's leading the charge, U of A. Wildcats trying to win, so is Arizona State. The winner of this game will go to a bowl game. Arizona State back on offense, facing a 2nd down and 8. Cron will scramble, and Jeff to the 35-yard line, where he only gains 2, 3rd down and 6 yards to go. Antonio Pierce on the tackle. There is Jeff Cron. He wears number 22 because he walked on, and he said he wants to remind himself of how far he has come. A kid who went to Horizon High School, and his father went to the University of Arizona, and Jeff said, well, you know, this was the team that recruited me to walk on, so I went to ASU. He has thrown for almost 1,500 yards this year. Now on 3rd and 6. 4 wide receivers set. Cron is sacked back at the 25. Jermaine Chapman on the corner blitz.
The Arizona defense causes a lot of problems. Watch Todd Heap. He's here, and Cron is waiting on him to get open, but watch Chapman come off the edge, and I'll tell you, I believe he comes up. Oh, he came all the way from up on top, unblocked. And he makes the hit on Cron in the backfield. I tell you, that's a gambling type defense on 3rd down.
Now Nick Murphy wants to punt it away from number 1, Bobby Wade, who is one of the best punt return artists in the Pac-10 Conference. He's returned one already for a touchdown. He'll have a chance for return after the excellent kick by Murphy, driving him back to the 20. Wade to the 40. Bobby to midfield and out of bounds. 54 yards in the punt, Rams, but when you've got a 30-yard return, that doesn't help on your net. Arizona wants to win. Right now, they're tied at 3 with the Sun Devils from Tempe. Bobby Wade, one of the most dangerous big play artists in the Pac-10 Conference, almost brought it back for the score.
Well, he really he returned 160 yards 2 weeks ago. A great block by number 18, Lance Relford, and he takes it back up the field for a big 34-yard return, and that's on a 54-yard punt. So net 20.
Arizona remains in that very spread offense. 4 receivers right side, and then Jenkins trying to run on the quarterback draw. Barely gets back to the line of scrimmage where Kurt Wallen brings him down. Number 59, the junior from Mesa Mountain View High School, and a late flag goes flying. Arizona State lost 2 weeks ago at Stanford 29-7. They absolutely had no energy in that game. I think part of the problem was that the kids have been reading so much stuff in the paper and listening to talk shows that their focus was not completely on that game.
Dead ball, unsportsmanlike on the defense. Dead ball, unsportsmanlike on the offense. The penalty is canceled.
We see that a lot in rivalry games, Rams.
Second down.
Well, the emotions are flying high. That's for sure. Both head coaches talked about the emotions before the game with us as well. I mean, you know, these games, you just have to fight tooth and nail, hope that you don't turn the ball over and make those silly kinds of mistakes. Those cancel each other out. Both teams get lucky.
2nd and 10. Leo Mills, the lone setback. Leo will get it. Leo cracks past the 45 to the 44, where Kurt Wallen again makes the tackle. Really 2 outstanding coaches who have taken their share of criticism this year. Bruce Snyder is fired despite second best record in the Pac-10 the last 5 years, and Dick Tomey is under fire despite being the winningest coach in Arizona history. You see our game stats. 102 total yards offense for Arizona, and they have the football. There is Dick. Won more games at Arizona than any other. Won more games at Hawaii than any other. Jenkins looking right. Now he'll scramble. This is where Ortiz is so dangerous. Very close to the first down. McTeer Clay made the tackle.
Phil Snow, the defensive coordinator for Arizona State, knew that Jenkins is very dangerous. Referee's going to call timeout. There's a shot of Phil Snow there. Defensive coordinator runs a very aggressive style of defense, sometimes stacking 8 and 9 guys close to the line of scrimmage, and that's why we've seen Arizona really try to spread them out today. Keep that guy away from the football, Adam Archuleta.
They need about a foot. But both these teams turnover conscious. Phil Snow has an aggressive attacking team. Nick Forrest, 21 fumbles this year. Bruce Snyder has given him that freedom. 4th down. Four wide receivers again at the bottom. Will Jenkins sneak, though? Yes. Well, that's 6'2", 216, just hard driving forward.
Well, and you have to commit when you have 4 wideouts, and they've shown already today they have the ability to throw it out wide and make some yards. And right at the point of attack, and Ortiz Jenkins just follows his big center, Bruce Wiggins. Now he's happy to have Wiggins back in the lineup. Wiggins missed 5 starts this year. First down so far. Arizona with 8. doing a nice job on third down conversions.
Arizona trying for their first lead of the game. Jenkins will go for it here. Brad Brennan, incomplete at the 3-yard line.
Brad Brennan rarely misses. Comes in with 11 catches on the season, averaging over 20 yards a catch. And Mr. Dependable he has been for the program, and he's had a tough time with hamstring and ankle injuries. That just off his fingertips.
Jenkins' touch really looked sharp in this game, though, even though he's completed just 4 of 10 for 51 yards. But there's Brad Brennan, 67 career catches. He has just been unable to stay healthy in his 4 years at Arizona. Jenkins fires underneath, and it is Brandon Manu Maliuno. What is this, Brandon's first 2-catch game this year?
Boy, keep getting him the ball. 6'3", 295-pounder out of Narbonne High School in Torrance. He's a senior. I think he becomes a very draftable young man, Steve.
Because he can block.
He has a bright future at the next level because of his ability to block, but also he's almost 300 pounds and he can run fast.
Brandon, tight end right side, number 90. Jenkins looking for Brennan. He's there. First down at the 11-yard line. Dick Tomey said something about Brad about a week ago. He said he's like Fred Budlitnikoff. If you give him time to work the defensive back speed, he'll break his ankles.
Brennan just does a great job. He stems number 24, Nydrell Eason, and Nydrell Eason does a great job closing on the ball. But watch as he starts out and then he comes back underneath Eason. That's just a great throw and a great catch right there. Especially great catch. The ball behind him a little bit.
Gain of 18. First down from just past the 10. Leo Mills sweep. Leo Mills to the 5 and out of bounds.
Leo Mills has such great speed, Steve. He's going too fast around the corner. He can't hold on right here. He's going, now I got to tightrope it. You see, he steps out at around the 4, and that's where they mark him down.
And he's not a guy who is healthy enough to absolutely dive into the end zone head first like some will do. He's got a shoulder that may need surgery in the offseason. He had that great game a few weeks ago against Washington, career best, 185 yards. Right now, the 9th play of the drive. Mills cracking his way to the 2. He took some punishment like that time, like there was no pain in his shoulder.
Boy, Arizona State was able to hold Arizona the first time down, hold them to 3 points. I still think you got to find a way to put a hat on number 40, Steve. Adam Archuleta. He's a guy that makes so many plays for the Sun Devils, and he may be playing his last game for Bruce Snyder.
He's in the middle, 3rd down. Jenkins, option, Ortiz, touchdown!
The teams that utilize the quarterback as a runner have a distinct advantage, because right there the numbers dictate that Arizona has the advantage. Ortiz Jenkins showing his legs, and plus he gets a pretty good stiff arm on the defender.
And that is a heck of a drive that started on the terrific punt return by Bobby Wade of 34 yards. Ortiz Jenkins with his 5th rushing touchdown this year. This is what makes him so dangerous, the ability to throw and run. College Football Saturday on Fox Sports Net is brought to you by True Value, where help is just around the corner, and by Nissan. Driven. The University of Arizona, one of the winningest Pac-10 teams in college football in the 1990s, 71 wins, second most in the Pac-10 to Washington's 82. still rumors swirling around this area about Dick Tomey's future. He's one of the fine coaches in the college game. We just saw Jenkins execute a great drive, 47 yards, 10 plays, set up by Bobby Way's 34-yard punt return. But Jenkins did a lot of it with his legs.
Well, and I think to Dick Tomey's credit, Steve, he works with one of the best athletic directors in the country in Jim Livengood.
He is very loyal, very supportive. Here is Richard Williams down to the 16. Nice special teams play by the Wildcats. Michael Jolivet. Next on a special edition of College Football Saturday, it's the third game of our triple header as number 13 TCU battles SMU. It's coming up next on Fox Sports Net. You'll have a chance to see if LaDainian Tomlinson will go for about 400 yards rushing. Just check your local listings for the game time in your area.
TCU 9-1 on the season, and LaDainian Tomlinson, he's in my top 5 for Heisman. I'll tell you that, especially after going over 300 last week.
Braun goes down, tripped over a teammate.
Interesting, though, who TCU lost to. They lost to San Jose State. At San Jose State, they were starting to, I think, feel very confident, and then San Jose State played great, inspired football, and they was able to control LaDainian Tomlinson and give him a loss.
San Jose State beat Stanford this year, almost beat USC. They're a pretty good team that we might see in the Silicon Bowl. They can beat Fresno State. Fresno State, San Jose State game tomorrow. Braun backing up, firing, has his man Sean McDonald, and Sean gets a first down. Sun Devils have had a hard time running it. 8 rushes, 1 yard, so they're going to go to the air.
Yeah, speed is so effective right here. They have a mismatch with McDonald on the linebacker, Antonio Pierce, and just an underneath play. And you see how effective the matchups are. The numbers on Jeff Cron, and again, that's John Pettis, the offensive coordinator at Arizona State, doing such a great job with game planning for the Sun Devils.
The senior Brian Forth at the top of the screen. Cron shuffles it underneath to Tom Pace, and Pace sliding forward very close to a first down. Let's go down to the sideline and Lewis Johnson.
Hey, Steve, thanks a lot. Listen, 2 weeks ago, Jeff Cron, the Arizona State quarterback, was actually knocked out of the game because of a concussion. Now, the NFL has done some studies on quarterbacks and concussions, and what they found is that if players go to a lighter helmet, like Troy Aikman did for Dallas, they have a better chance of defending themselves. This is what Cron used to wear before. This is the Shunt Air. And now, today, he's out there wearing this lighter helmet, the Rydell.
Well, you need to have those when you have a concussion, but he also has had thumb injury this year, a finger injury. He had the pneumonia. He had the mononucleosis. They got to keep this guy in the bubble.
Now I know what I needed when I was playing. I needed that lighter helmet.
Oh, that's your excuse.
Not take those shots. I think it's effective. You know, equipment's getting so much better now, Steve, and obviously Cron playing with the Rydell helmet, a lighter weight helmet. That's one of the players injured down on the field.
Looks like Anthony Thomas, who came in hurt.
And one of the defensive linemen for Arizona. But Cron also is wearing a mouthpiece, Lewis Johnson told me. And he wasn't wearing one when he received the concussion at Stanford 2 weeks ago.
That was his worst game of the year against the Cardinal. 1 of 6 passing for just 37 yards and then knocked out. And that was a game where they just had no energy. I know you were talking to Bruce Snyder. 3 straight overtime games. So many injuries. And really the rumors swirling about Bruce's situation.
Steve, the reality, an NCAA record 3 consecutive overtime games. They won the first one versus Washington State. Then they lost against Oregon and USC. And you see, I mean, 2-time Pac-10 Coach of the Year, 1996 NCAA Coach of the Year. And, you know, a lot of people said, well, you know, they weren't filling the seats. Well, you know what? That's not the head coach's responsibility to fill the seats. If you don't have the seats filled, you know what? I think part of it's marketing. Go to some other areas. Bruce Snyder still has 3 years left on a contract.
Double reverse. Donnie O'Neal. It is read beautifully by Idris Haroun, and he turns it back inside, and they will gain nothing. Richard Williams on the reverse, taking the handoff from Todd Heap.
So anyhow, I think in this group, this whole Pac-10 conference, Steve, where 22 of the last 39 conference games have resulted in games of 7 points or less. To me, there's so much parity. 7 different conference champions each of the last 7 years. You know, you hope for an experienced coach. That's the kind of guy you want, that knows everyone else in the Pac-10. His assistants know the competition as well as anyone.
On the offense, 5-yard penalty, still second down.
And you want to stay away from the silly mistakes. Obviously, the penalties that kill you. But
Rance, let me ask you more about the Bruce Snyder situation and the Arizona State situation. Is it a detriment to play your college football games at the same site as a struggling NFL team like the Arizona Cardinals?
I think so. And Jeff, Steve, we were joined by Jeff Van Raphorst, an ex-ASU Sun Devil. I'll get to the story in just a moment.
On second and long. Tron throws deep and throws it away.
Well, Jeff Van Raphorst, who led them to a Rose Bowl, Arizona State, does the radio for the Sun Devils, came in, and you and I and he were talking before the game, and I asked him just that. Hey, you know, when you look at college programs, and especially up in Phoenix, the Arizona Cardinals are not a Super Bowl champion. They're not a playoff contender. Let's face it, they're in the lower third or lower quarter of the NFL, and I tell you what, it hampers ASU and any other college, because you look at the programs that really do well, they don't have a pro team right next door to them.
Cron will run. Jeff with a lot of room, and he dives forward. The mark will be important here. I think they will mark him about a foot or two shy. Lance Briggs on the tackle.
Jeff Cron showing some wheels here, really springing through. I believe he's going to come up just about a yard short. So a big fourth down, but ASU elected. It looks like they're going to punt it. But Steve, you know what's interesting? The biggest thing about that story I just mentioned, when you have to share a stadium with a pro team, that's what makes it difficult.
What about the Washington Huskies? They're going to have to share their facility, which is theirs, with the Seahawks until they build that new stadium. Pacific Northwest, Nick Murphy hitting it to Bobby Wade. Wade returned 134's last time, eludes one, gets past the 10, and spins his way to the 13. 48 yards on the punt, about 8 on the return. 10-3, Wildcats leading the Sun Devils in Tucson, Arizona. They're playing for state pride here in Arizona. Their first game was in 1899, the University of Arizona versus the Territorial Normal School of Arizona. Normal won 11-2, then met on the Arizona campus for a huge Thanksgiving feast. Hey, a happy Thanksgiving to all y'all here in 2000. Bobby Wade with his 4th catch. Bobby is hit and drilled. Makes his way up near the 20-yard line. Sunday on America's favorite pregame show, J.B. Terry, Howie, and Chris are joined by weather girl Jillian Barberie, who tells you what the weather's going to be like in your favorite town. Plus, our sarcastic sage Jimmy Kimmel takes his picks and gets his looks on the guys like Terry. It's all part of the wildest NFL pregame show on TV. Fox NFL Sunday tomorrow at noon Eastern, 9 Pacific, only on Fox. Gain of 8, 2nd and 2. Clarence Farmer back in the game. And it is Clarence trying to get outside, and he will for a first down to the 30. Eason with the tackle.
Well, Steve, I wonder if Lewis Johnson's going to be cooking up like the 6-legged turkey downstairs like Madden and Summerall did yesterday. They got the 8-legged one anyhow. Clarence Farmer coming through. He finally gets taken to the ground, and it's kind of like the boys' weekend this weekend. You have your son, I have my son along for the ride. I want to wish a happy Thanksgiving to my wife and daughters back in Evansville, Indiana.
And my wife, Stacy, daughter Ryan, back in Southern Orange County. It is first down for Arizona. Jenkins was looking long, and there is a flag down.
Dead ball. False start on the offense. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
And 15 yards to go. Third penalty against Arizona.
Yeah, and now if you're Dino Babers, whereas you might have had a run play called on 1st and 10, I think 1st and 15, you're almost obligated to open up your offense a little bit more and throw a pass this down.
Well, they have Bobby Wade by himself at the top of your screen. 3 wide left. Wade is in single coverage. Jenkins fires that way and gets it to Manu Maliuna. Third catch by Brandon. All of a sudden, he has become the go-to guy.
Well, it's interesting. They've kept Manu Maliuna in on a lot of plays this year as a blocker because they've had so much inconsistency on the health of their offensive line. He has 12 catches this year, came in with 9. He had 20 last year. So, I mean, he's a very capable receiver, but Brandon is such a good blocker. They've kept him close to that offensive tackle to protect Ortiz Jenkins' backside.
Big hole right side. Farmer slams his way up past the 35-yard line. Let's go down to Lewis Johnson.
Well, Steve, a few moments ago we saw Arizona defensive tackle Anthony Thomas come off the field with an injury. Here he is on the bench. Trainers looked at his right ankle. They tell me he has a right ankle sprain. Thomas was telling players that he got his ankle trapped between some of the other guys. They've taped him up inside and outside of the shoe. He says he's going back in.
And they'll need him because they already have Ben Alo out for the season. Young Thompson, a sophomore, can play at that tackle position and must until Thomas says he's ready to go. But Anthony probably their best along with Keone Frazier at that tackle position. Farmer muscles his way to the 39. He needs to get to the 40 for a 1st and 10. You can see that yellow line. See how close the Farmer is to it. 4th down. With the lead, no time to be taking chances this early in the game. Chris Pallett comes on. Sean McDonald, former soccer star in the Phoenix area in high school. Fair catch at the 17. Fine kick by Chris Pallett. This holiday season, tuned to Fox Sports for the best of the new and old college football games. First on New Year's Eve, tune to Fox Sports Net for the inaugural Silicon Valley Football Classic. Then on New Year's Day, the 65th Southwestern Bell Cotton Bowl Classic continues its storied tradition on Fox Sports. Teams from the Big 12 and the SEC collide. Bring in the new year. Great football on Fox Sports Net and your local Fox affiliate. Jeff Cron. Complete. Donnie O'Neal. First down. O'Neal fumbles.
Wow, O'Neal trying to do something with it after the catch. And I mean, Jeff Cron throws a rope. This ball comes out late, and he just wings it. Donnie O'Neal has 2 hands on the ball there, and then he just gets hammered. I think it was Lance Briggs who came over, the middle linebacker. Number 27, watch, we'll slow it down right here. Briggs, wham, comes over, actually hits his own guy, too.
Arizona showing blitz. Here they come as they rush 6. Cron in trouble. Frazier couldn't get him. Cron runs near a first down.
That's a great play. Jeff Cron looked to the sideline, Steve. He saw exactly where the marker was laying on the ground, and he knew exactly where he needed to get to. Watch the pressure. He's able to elude, and then standing right there by Dick Tomey, he gets the first down and then just gets belted out of bounds.
There is an injured Wildcat down who's trying to get to Jeff Cron as he was rolling to that right side. I thought Keone Frazier had a shot at Jeff, but he just slipped through his grasp.
Boy, and we don't know who's down right now, but they're getting up, and
it's Keone. Keone probably on that dive was rolled over as he lunged for Jeff Cron to keep him from getting that first down, but Jeff escaped and just did get it to the 30-yard line.
And if you're Rich Ellerson, the defensive coordinator for Arizona, you got a minute 26 left that you have to play with without your star defensive end, Joe Tafoya, who had to sit out the first half, has an obligation for receiving a conduct penalty in the last game he's played in.
Todd Heap hasn't caught a pass yet. That ball is almost picked off, and we have a flag thrown. Adrian Koch almost with the interception.
I would imagine.
Holding of an eligible receiver by the defense. 10-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Well, that helps Arizona State. And coming up at the half, it's the Nissan halftime report. Kevin Frazier, Kellen Winslow, and Artie Gigantino are standing by to give you scores and highlights and a preview of that Oklahoma game as the Sooners get ready. They have one more big game on Fox Sports Net before they'll take on Kansas State in the Big 12 championship.
Boy, huge games looming ahead for them, and they're atop the BCS right now, but a lot of things can change.
Cron. Another flag will be thrown, and I believe this will go against Jolivet. He had his hands on the wide receiver with the football in the air. Could have been holding or pass interference. 1:16 to work with.
Well, and it's interesting. I know Artie Gigantino, he knows where I stand on the BCS, and I know you do too. I'm an outspoken critic. I just think it'll be a bit of a train wreck this year with all the computer polls having teams like Washington ranked number 9 and number 10. Jolivet gets the flag for the push-off on Justin Taplin, number 4.
I just think the way Washington played last week, they are really a strong team now. Oregon State might be the hottest team in the country. I mean, that team is flat good, and they deserve to go to a big bowl. And that's why USC can really help out the Pac-10 Conference by knocking off Notre Dame tomorrow.
Yeah, it's interesting. The BCS is, you know, there's going to be some happy people, and then there's going to be some teams and some alumni and boosters that are very unhappy because there's 5 or 6 teams right now very deserving of playing in a championship.
Cron. Richard Williams. He made the catch. Williams inside the 15-yard line.
Really taking advantage of the weak rest he had because his arm is alive. 32 yards down the field. Is Richard Williams just tightrope walking or what? I mean, he's able to elude Jermaine Chapman. Does he come back? Boy, he comes down just in bounds. I mean, great footwork. Williams, a big play receiver himself, averaging almost 18 yards a catch. Remember, he had a 90-yarder versus the Oregon Ducks a couple weeks back.
Richard is their fastest guy. We were talking about the Bowl Championship Series. Oklahoma unbeaten. Florida State's 11-1. Miami feels they should be ranked ahead of Florida State because they beat the Seminoles. But Miami, you don't talk about Washington, who beat you in Seattle. Oregon State 10-1, one of the hottest teams in the nation. And Oregon State, they deserve to go to a BCS game the way they have been playing.
You know, Arizona, I tell you, Dick Tomey has even said Oregon State may be the best team in the conference, but the team who outright won it was Washington. Washington still has a chance to be a 1 or a 2 at playing the Orange Bowl. Take a look at Richard Williams on that last play. He comes down. Oh, he was on the line, but the first foot was in. Watch him come down and watch this foot right there. Ooh. I can draw right there.
Hey, the field judge is right in front of it. He Welcome play.
The refs are on top of it. No instant replay.
1:08 remaining first half. Cron looping it. Todd Heap. Incomplete. Broken up by Lance Briggs, who is there for the double coverage.
Lance Briggs playing from the middle linebacker position. I think really expected them to go down the middle looking for Todd Heap. Watch Briggs, himself a former running back, and that's just a great play by a middle linebacker, being able to step back and pass defense and tip the ball away.
Briggs in the middle. Lance right now showing blitz. He comes. Cron fires. Looking for Todd Heap again. Incomplete. Third down. You know what? He's drawing double coverage every time. They've got to look elsewhere. Still no catches for Todd Heap, who came in with 42, most on the team.
I think you have to look for Todd Heap. He's such a big play guy, and he's made that man happy on a lot of occasions. Todd Heap right there in the slot.
McDonald is in motion. He has a linebacker on him. Cron rolling that side, fires. Todd Heap with the catch, his first of the game, near the 5-yard line.
It's a nice job by Heap, staying alive, working for his quarterback. He's also a finalist for the John Mackey Award given to the NCAA's top tight end, and pretty good list of players right there.
You know what? I wonder how many catches he would have if Ryan Keeley was healthy all season. Keeley's so clever as a quarterback. In the 2 quarters we saw him play against UCLA, he was brilliant. Bruce Snyder, the last 3 years, has not had a healthy Keeley. And thus, the numbers not the same as his great 96 season when they won the Pac-10, going unbeaten at 11-0. Arizona State taking a timeout here. Well, the reason Bruce Snyder wants to go to Heap a lot is because Todd Heap has a great history against Arizona. You go back 2 years, and he had a sensational game in 1998 with 2 brilliant touchdown catches, both from Ryan Keeley. And then last year, he had maybe his greatest game of his career with 170 yards receiving on 7 catches. Arizona State would win 42-27.
Just an amazing athlete, runs well, jumps. Very strong competitor. You saw 170 receiving yards, a career high versus Arizona in '99.
And do you know who his mom's cousin is? Danny White, who's being rumored to maybe be the next coach at Arizona State.
I don't think that'll happen, but no telling where Gene Smith will go, the athletic director.
Dennis Franchione's name has been mentioned, the TCU coach who will be playing next on Fox Sports Net. And remember the Nissan halftime report, all the scores from around college football today, and a preview of the Oklahoma Sooners game tomorrow, scores and highlights. Oklahoma needs to beat Oklahoma State, then will play Kansas State in the Big 12 championship.
I tell you, whoever the coach is, the next coach for Arizona State, they're gonna make a lot of money, because if they got a lot of money to buy 3 years of Bruce Snyder's contract out, if I was the incoming head coach, I'd say, well, this is a marquee job. You're gonna have to pay a lot of money. It'll be interesting.
The other candidate is Tom Ramsey.
You bet. My hat's in the ring. Always. Hey, I always say everything's for sale, and a job like that, my hat's in the ring.
No, but that gentleman just did a great job at California when I knew him in the Bay Area, and did a terrific job at Arizona State. But if you look around and see the teams that win in college football, their respective conferences, you go down to the end of the year and you say, how many injuries did they have at critical positions? Both Bruce Snyder and Dick Tomey's team were hit hard by injuries this year.
Well, yeah, when you lose your top tailback in a preseason scrimmage to start the year off, you kind of go, oh, man, this can't be happening.
Here is Mike Barth from 24 yards out. got it. 10-6 Arizona.
They're calling you. The places you want to be. The things you want to do. But you're not going to get there until you finish this stuff. That's why there's True Value. We get you in and out fast. Because the sooner you get done, the sooner you can get back to this thing called your life. True Value.
And right now, come in for one of True Value's 12 gifts of Christmas. A folding sports armchair with carrying case is just $12.99. True Value. Help is just around the corner.
Now's the best time to buy the best on earth. Down-to-earth deals at your Honda dealer. Get no down payment on a new Honda ATV. Then take your pick of low monthly payments for the first 2 years. Or no payments and no interest for 3 full months thanks to the Honda Card program. And with a new Foreman, Foreman S or ES, you can get an additional bonus. 300 Honda bonus bucks to spend at your Honda dealer. Down-to-earth deals happening now at the best dealers on earth.
11 seconds remain in the first half. The Wildcats with a 10-6 lead over Arizona State. Mike Barth has kicked 2 field goals for the Sun Devils. That last drive, 75 yards in 7 plays, and here is the kickoff. Andre Thurman. And Thurman is run down at the 35-yard line. Just 5 seconds remain in the first half. Wildcats believe that they might have a chance to go to Hawaii, but Sun Devils have to believe as well, down by only 4. Still 30 minutes and 5 seconds to play.
I'd like to listen in on some of those halftime speeches, and I'll tell you what, the guys that are going to be the most vocal are not the coaches. It's going to be the seniors in each locker room. Guys, I got a chance to go to Hawaii for my last game. I'll tell you what, you better play your tails off.
A lot of sand in Arizona, but no water. Time to head to the beach for one of these 2 teams. Jenkins backing up. Ortiz rolling away from pressure. Again scrambling. Ortiz is going to be sacked way back at the 22-yard line. And that is the final play of the first half. Jenkins' running ability, though, in the first half gave the Wildcats their lead for Dick Tomey. It was Ortiz on an option play where he kept it 2 yards in the touchdown. 10-6 halftime lead for the Wildcats. Let's go down to Lewis Johnson.
All right, Steve, thanks a lot, Coach. Obviously, this desert rivalry is alive, but in the bigger picture, you're either a half away from taking these guys to Hawaii or ending your tenure at Arizona State. What do you say in there? Do you do anything, or do the players take over? What happens in the locker room?
Well, you know, I just asked them to play the first half as hard as they could play, and we'll deal with it at halftime about the second. They've been really a terrific group in terms of responding, and it's a player's game. You know, the guys who are out there playing has very little to do with me, so it's all on them.
All right, we'll let you get inside, and we'll see you back in the second half. Thanks so much. And with the halftime score, Arizona 10, Arizona State 6.
Halftime in Tucson, Arizona. Pac-10 college football. It is the Southwest shootout of Arizona and Arizona State. Wildcats with a 10-6 lead. Steve Visiak along with Tom Ramsey. And we started this game talking about the coaches, but Rams, you really believe that in the locker room at halftime, it was the seniors doing most of the talking.
No matter what the coaches say at halftime, the vocal ones at half are going to be the senior leaders that step up and say, guys, this is it. You got 30 minutes to make or break, and you might get us an extra game to play, and it's going to be in Hawaii, so we're all going to enjoy it. And those are the guys that are being outspoken at halftime.
And as we take a look at the first half stats, you say Arizona must find a way, Arizona State must find a way of rushing that football.
Well, Arizona State only has 23 yards rushing the football. I think that is really astounding. Arizona has a great run defense, but they're really putting the hammer on them. And Arizona is doing partially what they had to do at the top of the game. They've converted 6 of 11 third down opportunities thus far today.
Great balance for Arizona, 80 yards rushing, 88 passing. They'd like to double that. Chris Halleck, Chris Gray will kick off. Number 28, sophomore from Irvine, California. Richard Williams and Sean McDonald deep, and boy, Gray really hammers that one through the end zone. Lewis Johnson, what do you have?
Okay, talked to Dick Tomey just a few moments ago as he came out of the locker room, and he kind of ran through a laundry list of things that they want to work on in the second half. Staying away from the dumb penalties was the first thing he talked about. Short yardage, doing a better job of picking up those yards, and then rushing the passer. Joe Tafoya, the defensive end who was out the first half due to NCAA violations, is back in, so that may help in their pass rushing abilities there.
No question, and there he is, Joe Tafoya, big number 99, one of the best defensive linemen in this conference. Tom Pace, nothing there. Tafoya near it, and Joe, he just came after him like a biting sow.
And Joe Tafoya getting his first game action. Watch him come right from the defensive end position, knifes down inside, cuts down the pursuit lane, and then all of a sudden drills Tom Pace in the backfield. Great story about Tom Pace. He was a walk-on, and he was awarded a scholarship. Joe Tafoya, 15 tackles for loss.
Tafoya right now a stand-up end, and now he'll go back and drop and cover. Braun scrambling, in trouble. Just throws it away. But he was not outside the hash mark, Rams, and he was throwing that ball away. Idris Haroun had him. And Dick Tomey on the sideline are hot.
And Dick Tomey saying exactly what you're saying. He comes back right where the ball was snapped, so he's not outside of the tackle box. He's got an arm on him, Idris Haroun, and then he launches the ball, and by NCAA rules, it should be a grounding call.
Third down, 12 to go. Braun fires. Almost intercepted. Clay Hart had a chance at it. 3 and out. Wildcat fans pick it up here in Tucson.
Well, Dick Tomey said before the game he wanted his team to feel good, Steve, and right there you saw just the impact of having their senior leader, Joe Tafoya, back on the field, and they played an inspired 3 downs.
Now Nick Murphy, he was very strong in the first half, averaging 45 yards per punt with a long of 54, but his 54 was returned 34 yards by Bobby Wade. And Bobby standing at his 10. High snap, line drive kick, a chance for a return for Bobby. Ooh, good special teams play by Arizona State. 10-6, Arizona has the lead over Arizona State. 13:56 to play in the third quarter. College Football Saturday Special Edition on Fox Sports Net is brought to you by Buick and your local Buick dealers. Isn't it time for a real car? Steve Biziak, Tom Ramsey, Lewis Johnson with you. Arizona with a 10-6 lead over Arizona State. 13:56 to play, and the first possession of the second half for the Wildcats. They'll spread them out, 3 wide left, 1 to the right. Jenkins flips, and he was looking for Manu Maliuna again, and it is incomplete. Now Arizona's first half possessions, they had an interception first time when Jenkins was hit. He was trying to throw a field goal, a punt, a long drive after the fine return by Bobby Wade, and then a punt, and then the end of the half. Ortiz under 100 yards passing, 88 total, 8 of 14. The one pick again really wasn't much of his fault because his arm was hit as he was firing that pass. Clarence Farmer. Farmer, the running back, and Clarence is hit. Breaks the tackle. Farmer gains about 5 or 6 when he should have lost 3.
That's a great second effort by Clarence Farmer. Take a look at the running backs' efforts today. They've gotten a few more yards than their counterparts across the line at Arizona State. Looks like up the middle, fairly effective, 8 for 25. And
is that because they're spreading them out and then they're attacking the interior?
Well, there's a lot of reasons why those things are happening. I think with the makeshift offensive line that Arizona's had, the running game is that much more tough to get untracked, and I think that's where Ortiz Jenkins has been effective throwing the football.
Jenkins scrambling, trying to get outside. He cannot get outside Solomon Bates.
Steve, the receivers just have to work harder for you. And Ortiz Jenkins has got to be patient and let the play happen. Right now, they're rushing it in the pass game, and even though they were 6-11 in the first half on third down conversions, this is the half that really counts.
Arizona State with a record of 5-5. Arizona a record of 5-5. The winner goes to a bowl. State pride is on the line. The punt is blocked. Arizona's Adrian Cope picks it up. An outstanding field position for the Sun Devils and a chance to take the lead. Donnie O'Neal got in there and blocked the punt.
Well, they move the pocket sometimes in punt formation. This is standard, but Arizona State smelled it out. They had their man Donnie O'Neal come in and get the angle, and just a great play. Watch Donnie O'Neal come in. He knifes underneath Coke, and that's just a missed assignment right there by number 52. He needs to get a hat on number 6.
Great scouting job by Arizona State. Palak has been doing that rugby punt, and O'Neal smelled it out. Didn't bust to the inside. Stayed with the contain. First time anyone has blocked a rugby-style punt by Arizona. Cron throws. Richard Williams incomplete. That's a touchdown, but Jeff underthrew him.
Yeah, that is a touchdown, Steve. You said it. Richard Williams had nice separation. He ran just a quick slant, and it really falls on the shoulders of the quarterback to get the ball to the open receiver. And Bruce Snyder knows right now his team has an opportunity in the red zone to get more than the 2 field goals they had in the first half.
Mike Williams, the true freshman at tailback. Mike gets the carry and slices forward for about 2 or 3, but it'll be third and long.
Mike Williams comes in 503 yards on the season. He had a big 143-yard game early in the season versus the Colorado State Rams, who have won the Mountain West Division and are 9-2 on the year. Mike Williams, a true freshman. Southern California product down there in Long Beach area.
Cron, 3rd and 8. Fires. Almost intercepted by Jermaine Chapman. And Jeff just cannot come up with the big play, whether it's third down or inside the red zone.
Well, and John Pettis was the first one in his ear, the offensive coordinator and quarterback coach. I mean, I guarantee you what Pettis is saying. You had a grand opportunity on first down. Stick it in on Richard Williams. Put it on number 7. That's a touchdown. Then I'm sure he told him on that last play, don't throw an interception, whatever you do. Give our guys a chance.
So instead of taking the lead, they'll try and pull within 1 on this field goal. 30 yards out, Mike Barth with his 3rd field. Now they'll run it. A fake. Barth wide open. Touchdown. How about this play?
Yeah, how about that play? Watch. Barth ends up coming up. He runs right up the middle of the field. They get a great block by Victor Leyva, big number 75, and Barth is a smart man. He follows big number 75 right into the end zone.
So Barth going for all of the points on this possession, the touchdown, now the extra point. If only that play had worked on the extra point in the second overtime versus Oregon. Arizona State takes the lead over their rivals, the Arizona Wildcats. Give it to Mike, and he will Barth his way into the end zone. Mike Barth just scored the first touchdown of his career. He has all 13 of Arizona State's points, and his field goal opportunity was going to pull Bruce Snyder's team within 1. Bruce said, no, we're going to go with a little trickery. And he wears number 13. 13 points. Sun Devil fans happy about that. Meantime, Bobby Wade and Andre Thurman are back deep. Thurman, they fake the reverse. Thurman goes down at the 23. Rams, should that touchdown have counted?
Hey, Steve, upon further review, well, of course, the touchdown is going to count, but watch, Griff Goodman becomes a quarterback. He takes a direct snap. Now watch when he catches the ball, his knee right here is on the turf. It's down. So, by theory, before he hands the ball off, Chuck McFerrin should say, wait, guys, bring it back. You can't have your knee on the ground and have the ball in your hand. I mean, you're down.
Knee may have been down before it crossed the goal line also.
You got to get lucky in these games, and without instant replay, let the luck stand.
Leo Mills. Tell you, Arizona's getting the running game going a little. We like the running of Clarence Farmer in the first half, averaging 4.5 yards per carry, and Leo Mills averaging 4.7.
Leo Mills has been effective on the outside, on the perimeter, and looks like he's been hampered with an ankle, a high ankle injury. It looks like it's bothering him somewhat again. He's missed a lot of the practice time this past 2 weeks leading up to this game.
So Jenkins must get his offense going now. Ortiz 3 and out on his first offensive possession of this third quarter. Leo Mills, first down, past the 35. Gain of 4. Back-tier Clay on the tackle. Mills now limping off the field. You talked about that ankle injury. He also has the shoulder problem. Still, he's been averaging close to 5 yards a carry in this game. And now Mills will leave, and Clarence Farmer back in, number 32. That's Willie Daniel, the strong safety. They like to blitz him. Bobby Wade trying to sneak inside, but Terrell Suggs just stretched it out and made sure they turned it back into the linebackers.
Just trying to get some momentum on offense, run some different plays, but you see the pursuit of Arizona State. Terrell Suggs, number 48, the defensive end, strings it out, and then Archuleta has played so well all year long, coming in averaging over 11 tackles a game, and right there once again helping out on that one. Archuleta is just so quick to the football. He's right there. Keep an eye on him. Runs like a track athlete.
Archuleta blitzing. They break free. Clarence Farmer. Eason stops him at the 22. They blitzed Archuleta, and he was on the outside. Farmer cut in and almost went all the way to the end zone. 44 yards on the run.
That's just great, a great scheme by Arizona, as you mentioned, Steve, because what they do, slow it down, they end up taking Archuleta out of the play. He races upfield. They get a nice block. Bruce Wiggins on Solomon Bates, the middle linebacker, and then Farmer, you see his strength and power, and then he takes it right to Nitrell Eason.
Now Arizona goes with that 3-wide look left side. They'll run it to Farmer. Clarence finding a big hole. Finally ripped down by Terrell Suggs, but not before he gets 6-7 yards.
You know, on that last big run by Farmer, watch Archuleta on the left side of your screen right there. He takes himself out of the play, gets a nice block by Marcus McFadden, and then the rest is Farmer. And right now, Arizona, Randy Robbins, the running back coach, is a former defensive back for Arizona and the Denver Broncos, doing a nice job rotating this year all 3 players, Larry Kroom, Leo Mills, and Clarence Farmer.
Farmer gets 1, maybe 2. Farmer needs 88 yards rushing today to pass Washington's Rich Alexis as the Pac-10's leading freshman runner this year, and he has 86 so far, so he is 2 away from tying Rich Alexis.
And coming into tonight's game, the tailback by committee was responsible for over 1,332 yards. So they've gotten a nice rotation now, but what they need right now, being down 13-10, a short 3rd and 2. Be conscious of where you got to get to for the first down.
Jenkins will throw. Manumalino wide open, touchdown. I love the fake field goal call. I love this call on 3rd and 2.
Yeah, this is a big-time call. Great play action into the line, and I'm just so happy they have found the tight end in their offense. It took into the 11th game to find him, but Brandon Manumalino really coming up and scoring his first touchdown of the year.
Play action pass worked on 3rd and 2. Everybody was pinching line of scrimmage. Brandon, you've never been so open all year long. Arizona with a 17-13 lead over Arizona State. 8:21 to play here in the 3rd quarter. Brandon Manumalino with his first touchdown catch of the year. And there's the 290-pound tight end, 7 plays, 77 yards. And that was after Arizona was stung by ASU on the fake field goal, scoring a touchdown to give the Sun Devils a lead. Manumalino has 4 catches this afternoon. Arizona State's star tight end Todd Heap has only 1. Williams and McDonald back deep. Richard 7 yards deep, go to 1 knee. Rich, he does. 20-yard start at Arizona State's territory. Tomorrow on Fox Sports Net, College Football Saturday, #1 Oklahoma looks to continue their undefeated season and move 1 step closer to the Orange Bowl as they take on Oklahoma State. It all begins at 3:30 Eastern, 12:30 Pacific on Fox Sports Net. Sooners need to win that to go to Kansas City and play Kansas State for the Big 12 championship.
That's going to be a big one.
Jeff Cron with time, dumping it off. Todd Heap. Well, first we saw Manumalino really wide open, and this is the widest we've seen Todd Heap open.
Todd Heap making the play and then hurdling the defender. Again, Arizona State finds their big tight end. Todd Heap, the leading receiver. Watch that. Whoa, right over the top. Exposes himself a little bit. And Lance Briggs, middle linebacker, takes full advantage of that. Lays the lumber to him.
Nice leap by Heap. Now first down, ASU. Play action. Cron dumps it off again. This time Mike Carney, gain of 1. The pass was a low one. Well, Oklahoma already is going to the Big 12 championship game to play Kansas State, but they must win tomorrow against Oklahoma State or they'll be out of the BCS national championship game, and a team like Washington likely could move in.
And that Oklahoma State game, of course, on Fox Sports Net. But Steve, what's interesting, Bill Snyder, the head coach at K-State, really has been beleaguered and let down by the BCS system the last 2 years. You don't think that's great motivation coming in and playing a #1 team?
Huge. Tom Pace rips past the 50-yard line. What was it, a couple of years ago when Notre Dame was invited to the bowl that pays out greater and Kansas State had a much better season?
That game is as primed for an upset as any game.
The neutral zone. That penalty is declined. First down.
As any game that will be played this year. Oh. All Dick Tomey cares about is the here and now.
They'll play at a great football stadium, Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City, which is a bowl, and it really can get loud in there. Been there many times for Chiefs-Raiders games in the past. First down. Blitz on. Picked up by the fullback. But now Antonio Pierce rips by Mike Carney and makes the sack. 3rd sack by Arizona. That's what's so great about this Arizona defense. So unpredictable about where the blitzes will come. Sometimes from the safety, some from the corner, outside linebacker. Bruce Snyder knows that with a very young quarterback, Jeff Braun, a redshirt freshman. 19 different Arizona players have quarterback sacks this year. That gives you an idea of where they're coming from. Blitz from the safety this time. And that safety was blitzing. Brandon Nash assists on the tackle. Tom Pace as Arizona State trying to get the running game going, and this drive is the best push they've had by their offensive line and by their backs. Third down, 8 yards to go. Heap in the slot left side. They throw behind Donnie O'Neal, who was open. And Jeff may have hit the top of a defender's helmet. John Pettis, the offensive coordinator, quarterback coach, going over to see if he's all right. Nick Murphy being called on to punt. Again, he's done a fine job this year booming that football inside the 20-yard line. Wade brought one back 34 yards to set up the first Arizona touchdown. Nick angling it towards the right side. Wade running up, lets it go. It takes a beautiful bounce at the 2-yard line. What a kick by Nick Murphy. This week on Sunday Night Fights, former WBA super welterweight champion David Reed takes on his middleweight debut against WBC international super welterweight champion Carino Garcia in a 10-round middleweight brawl between two top 10 contenders. The bell rings Sunday at 8 only on Fox Sports Net. Reed is 14-1. Garcia 28 victories in his career with 22 knockouts. Arizona, terrible field position. They do have a 4-point lead. Clarence Farmer is the I-back. Eli Winnick, the fullback, moving left. Farmer fumbles! And Arizona State takes the lead. Terrell Suggs, the 18-year-old true freshman.
Quiet player, I'll tell you that. He makes a lot of big plays right here. Farmer never got the handoff. Kurt Wallen misses it. Terrell Suggs ends up getting the touchdown and the ball. Just another miscue by the Arizona Wildcats, and it leads to 6 points for ASU.
A block punt and now a fumble have resulted in 14 points for Arizona State, and Barth has it up and perfect. Arizona State back in front. You might be looking at one of the most dominating defensive ends in college football the next few seasons. Terrell Suggs came in with 8 sacks this year, just turned 18 in October. Just an outstanding young player out of Chandler, Arizona. Fast, aggressive, big, he's got it all. Thurman out near the 40-yard line.
Steve, it boils down to execution, and right here, when you can't execute a simple quarterback running back handoff and deep in your own end, right there, Clarence Farmer, a true freshman, tries to grab at the ball. The ball spills on the ground. Touchdown, Sun Devils.
Well, the Wildcats came right back after the touchdown was scored by Arizona State on their possession after the block punt. Larry Kroom in the game now, and Larry Kroom gets the call, and here goes Larry for a first down. Kroom came in with an ankle problem. that he suffered against Oregon State. 231 yards rushing, but with Dick Tomey, he wants you to do the right things, and he said turnovers were going to hurt them. Clarence Farmer turned the ball over, backed up near his goal line. It results in a touchdown for Arizona State, so he immediately makes a change, getting Farmer out, sending Larry Kroom in, the sophomore from Long Beach Poly High School. They run Kroom again. Suggs has him, pulls him down. Boy, Terrell, he plays like a veteran too, the way he keeps the runners inside on the sweep. And here we see a play where he just got Kroom and picked him up by the waist and pulled him down.
He does have a presence on the field, and with all great players, they're guys that you kind of put a circle around when you're game planning. You go, hey, you know what? We got to find a way to block this guy. And I guarantee you, the Arizona offensive coaches say, hey, number 48, got to get him blocked.
Jenkins back to throw. Now he'll scramble and run. Ortiz will need 2 more for a first down. Solomon Bates on the tackle. But Suggs, the first true freshman since John Jefferson to start the opener, and he did it this year. John Jefferson, of course, a great wide receiver back in 1974. And when you talk about great moments in Arizona State history, who can forget John Jefferson stretching out, laid out in the end zone with a great catch to help the Sun Devils to victory over the Wildcats years ago. 3rd and 2. Leo Mills hits it hard, but he is well shy of a first down. Let's go down to Lewis Johnson.
Well, Steve, if you've been wondering where Leo Mills has been over the last several minutes, he's been on the sideline nursing calf that has been cramping. Trainers have been working with him. They've given him a sports drink with electrolytes, a lot of massaging. He's done a lot of stretching over here. And now he's back out in the field trying to help Arizona.
Hey, Lewis, next report, I'd stay away from the band. They were right in his backyard. Clarence Farmer with 82 yards rushing, 7.5-yard carry. We have a timeout in the field with 3:42, excuse me, remaining in the 3rd quarter. Leo Mills got those electrolytes, and now he's trying to do something electrical to get this offense going. Timeout, Arizona. Wildcats only have 1 timeout left in this half. Arizona State has all 3.
Yeah, and I think this really boils down for Arizona. They've made a monumental mistake in their own end a few moments ago. They're behind by 3. You know, if you punt the ball away, how much yardage do you really pick up? Maybe, if it goes out of the end zone, it's a touchback. You only really pick up a net 19. So I think Dick Tomey says, hey, guys, let's go for it. Let's set a tempo right here and now. And if we want to feel good about ourselves at the end of the game, you got to make this 4th down.
And first half, we saw a similar play on 4th and 1. Ortiz Jenkins, who is 6 feet 2 inches tall, 216 pounds, went right over his all-conference center, Bruce Wiggins, and just slammed forward on the sneak for 2 yards. They got the first down, and that was a big 4th down conversion that led the way to their first touchdown. Leo Mills, the I-back. They haven't brought Bates up yet. Jenkins, he got a real late surge. I don't think they got it. I think the snap was messed up.
That was a late snap. Ortiz Jenkins just didn't expect it. Boy, and I tell you what,
nobody moved on the snap.
Yeah, the offensive line didn't expect it. It looked like they might have had a freeze call there, and pretty interesting call.
Now they've got to play some pretty good defense because Jeff Cron has been picking it up in the second half. Cron has thrown for 125 yards. The reverse to Todd Heap, who will throw the football No one was open, so Heap just leans forward and gets about a yard. It'll be 2nd down and 9. And we're seeing a little bit of everything tonight.
Heap can do it all, and right there they put the ball in his hands, expecting him to throw a pass down the field, and surprise, a great athlete. A lot of different attributes. I would imagine if he elects to come out in the draft too, he's only a junior, but he could come out. He'll be a very high draft pick if and when he does.
Cron will run the football. Tom Pace smashing forward past the 45 out near the 48-yard line. Will be 3rd down and 2. Lance Briggs on the tackle. Pace has some quick feet on him. Just always seems to be going forward.
Tom Pace, interesting. Bruce Snyder awarded him a scholarship a couple weeks back before the SC game. Did it quietly in Bruce Snyder's office, but here was a guy who was looking for a few extra bucks at the beginning of the season, cleaning pools.
4 wide receiver set. Heap is in the slot. Cron looks his way, fires for Todd. Heap with the catch and the 1st down, muscling his way inside the 35-yard line.
Todd Heap is such a big target, and credit Jeff Cron for being patient. He just works over the top, and Jeff Cron is so patient here. He knows Heap is going to come open. He just runs a little square in. Heap comes back for the football, which every quarterback likes. Just gives him a huge target, puts it right between the 8 and 0. 1st down, Sun Devils.
3rd catch for Heap of the game. Tom Pace. Pace inside the 30. Briggs in the tackle. Well, we say the name of Lance Briggs so many times. He is 2nd in the Pac-10 conference with 101 tackles, and his defensive coordinator Rich Ellerson told us if you're not calling Lance Briggs' name, then the opponents are moving the football. Briggs will get, 10-12 tackles a game. He has 46 in his last 4 games, does number 27. Blitz. They flare it off to Tom Pace, and it is overthrown. Jermaine Chapman in the area, so Cron will face a 3rd and 7 here. Trace Haroon with the pressure.
Well, we knew coming in 3rd down was really going to dictate the way this game went. These games have been awfully close the last several years. Right now, both teams coming in at 500. The win will send the winner to a bowl. Right now, a lot of pressure on the redshirt freshman. Arizona State 3 for 11 tonight on 3rd down.
Cron dumps it off. The catch is made for the 1st down. Richard Williams out of bounds near the 12. How about the touchdown?
Let's talk about the mysterious touchdown. When Arizona State about 10 minutes ago was down getting ready to kick a field goal, they snapped the ball to Griff Goodman. His knee was on the ground. Well, I ended up paging Burl Sorgan, who is the coordinator of football officiating for the Pac-10, who happens to be here. He brought down the rule book. It cleared it up. On page 70 of the rules, there's a small exception. If a kicker emulates, like he's going to kick the ball, the play stands. The holder can get away with that. What's most interesting, though, is that it's in real small print, and Arizona State called Burl Sorgan at home 2 weeks ago and wanted to make sure they could map it out where they could slide by the rule interpretation. So, in a way, it's a great call by Arizona State. I said he was down at the point, and it should be a dead ball, but the way they ran the play, kicker swings through like he's going to kick the ball, plays allowed, touchdown.
Wow.
I stand corrected.
Well, Rams, you went to your top source to make sure things were right. Illegal play. Cron wants a timeout. That's the first for Arizona State. They have 2 left. Arizona has 1 left. Arizona, excuse me, has 2 left also. They've used just 1 this half. Well, Dick Tomey has been under fire here in Tucson, even though his entire offensive line has been ravaged by injuries. But we talked with Dick about his situation here in the desert.
I tell our players, I said, when you lose games as a college football team, and more as a coach, you're going to get criticized. People are going to want you to be fired. I mean, I think you hear that all the time. You hear it no matter where you work in Los Angeles or Tucson or Phoenix or wherever you work. And I think as a coach, you just have to do your work. You have to get your team ready to play. You have to stay the course, and that's what we've tried to do.
But interestingly, you're looking at a man who's under fire, who had the second most wins in the 1990s in the Pac-10 Conference with 71. Washington had 82. He has led Arizona to 7 bowls the last 11 years. He had that absolutely fabulous season of 98 when they went 12-1 and beat Nebraska in the Holiday Bowl. He lost a couple of great players in the first round. Dennis Northcutt, a wide receiver to the NFL, and Trunk Candidate, first round pick by St. Louis Rams.
And I've said those 2 players are almost impossible to replace.
Second down, 10 yards to go. Cron under pressure, throws incomplete, 3rd and 10. Keone Frazier with the pressure on Jeff Cron, possibly forcing him to throw the football before he wanted to. Chapman has really shown great strides this year as a cover cornerback out of Compton, California. He and Joe Lovett certainly will be 2 of the premier cornerbacks in the Pac-10 next season.
And Rich Ellerson's defense is awfully tough down here in the red zone. A 3rd and a long 10 for Cron.
Jeff trying to roll with the pocket, steps up with time to the 5. Jeff inside the 3-yard line, very close to a first down. Antonio Pierce with a touchdown saving tackle.
He's laying it on the line right there. Here's a guy who came off a mild concussion 2 weeks ago, and Lewis Johnson, our sideline reporter, said he went to a lighter helmet. Boy, he puts his head down. He takes a shot, too, and ends up close down by the goal line, very close to the first down line. Antonio Pierce, number 45, was the player who just drilled him. Wow.
And they got the first down.
Cron, only a redshirt freshman, came in tonight throwing for 1,488 yards, 12 touchdowns, only 5 interceptions. But right there, you saw the ability to scramble. And once Arizona locks up in man-to-man, bring it down to the quarterback and take the football down and let him run. Nice decision.
Let's see if they run here. Tom Pace is the running back. They give it to Pace. He is nailed at the 3. Brandon Nash on a strong safety blitz.
Yeah, just an amazing play once again. Goal line stand by the Arizona Wildcats. Brandon Nash just flying over the top and drilling Tom Pace. I mean, players just laying out.
That's the final play of the 3rd quarter. We had a wild 3rd quarter with all kinds of fancy plays. We had a fake field goal that won for a touchdown. This is it. Mike Barth. 13 points for Barth early. And then the pass to Brandon Manu Maliuna. The touchdown by Suggs ended it. We start the 4th quarter here in Tucson, Arizona. The shootout between Arizona and Arizona State. Sun Devils with a 2nd and goal at the 3-yard line of the Wildcats. Heavy load look, double tight end. They will run Pace. Pace to the outside, tries to cut in. Touchdown, Arizona State.
Score this way, say credit the offensive line and credit the fullbacks out in front of Tom Pace. Stephen Trejo was one of them. The big fullback got a nice block, and he follows his blocks. There's number 30, gets a great kick out on the defensive back, and Tom Pace able to knife up underneath and score.
Arizona State taking control of this game. They have their biggest lead. If Barth makes the extra point, it will be 10. It is up, perfect. Arizona State, like last year in this game, the winner would go to a bowl game. Arizona State won last year 42-27. They lead now 27-17. Arizona State with 10 points off turnovers. That's the difference in the game. 7 off a block punt. Jenkins has a touchdown run and a touchdown pass. But Arizona is dominating on the ground. They fumbled for a touchdown. The block punt.
When you have the short field going in, boy, it makes it a lot easier. And Arizona's had to start on their own end one time tonight. That resulted in a fumble and an Arizona State touchdown. And Jeff Cron getting his neck worked out a little bit after taking that big shot by Antonio Pierce.
Again, he has suffered concussions this year. Tom Pace with the touchdown and a 10-point Sun Devil lead. The kid that was cleaning pools when he was a walk-on while he was a football player. And here is Bobby Wade. Leo Mills back deep. Arizona needs a strong return, and then they need to start throwing the football. They keep it on the ground. Time is their enemy. A yard deep. Leo Mills out to the 20, maybe the 21.
Right now, Ortiz Jenkins, a senior leader of that offense, has got to look into the eyes of his offensive lineman and say, guys, give me time to throw the ball, because he's got to get the ball up the field. Now remember, when they started the game, they started out in a 5 wide receiver set with a cluster of 4 receivers at the top, which is what they're doing here. Once again, they split out Brennan down here on the single receiver side, so they're ready to throw the ball.
They've thrown it to Bobby Wade on this play 3 times. And Jenkins on the quarterback keeper is out past the 30 and will get the first down near the 33. Lewis Johnson, what do you have?
Hey, Steve, there's really something going on down here on this Arizona State sideline. You think back to that Arizona turnover that became 6 for Arizona State. Now the latest touchdown. There's a lot of energy down here. These guys are excited. Players are looking like they want to play one more game as in a bowl. They're looking like they want their coach, Bruce Snyder, to coach one more before he leaves.
They're playing for their coach, the class gentleman in college football. Jenkins again will keep it himself. Ortiz running away from that 4-man stack on the right side. Willie Daniel on the tackle, but again, Ortiz not only gets 5, 6, 7 yards, but gets out of bounds, stopping the clock at 14:35.
Jenkins really taking it into his own hands and feet right now, electing to run. I like Arizona, electing not to huddle, electing to stay spread. Again, 4 wides up here at the top, and causes a lot of pre-snap determination for Arizona State. They got to put 4 out there to cover.
Jenkins firing for Brad Brennan, and he has it. First down at the 48.
Arizona knew coming in that Arizona State was shy and a little lean on defensive backs, and Steve, no better way than to spread everybody across the field. You got to match up man to man, and the strength of that Arizona State defense lies in their continuity around the ball. They like the blitz and bring those defensive backs. Right now, they're spread out all over the field.
Jenkins again now swings it right. Bobby Wade is struck by Alfred Williams. Oh, that hurt.
Bobby Wade jumps up like, well, something's happening there. That's a bad dance. But anyhow, Alfred Williams.
Who was supposed to block 39?
Well, someone's supposed to get a hat on it. The ball comes rifling out, and then Williams just running through and tattooing Bobby Wade. I love it. Bobby Wade just pops up and says, that didn't hurt.
That's 6'3", 210 coming at you at about 25 miles an hour. Now more normal with 3 wide, 2 to the left, 1 to the right. They swing the pass, and it is incomplete. So 3rd down and 14. Larry Kroom was the intended receiver, but Arizona State smelled that out so well. Is that something that Ortiz needs to read and go away from?
Well, it just looked like, there's no read to that play. He just turns and he throws the ball into the short sideline, which, if you're going to call that play, run it to the wide side. Give yourself some room. I think Arizona lined up on the far right hash mark. They're 50% tonight. They were last in the Pac-10 in 3rd down conversion, facing awfully tough one, 3rd and 14.
Arizona State blitzes from everywhere. The corner, the linebacker, Jenkins, deep, incomplete. Melosi Leonard. McTeer Clay didn't look like he turned his head, but he did not touch the man.
McTeer Clay made a great play, Steve. He got caught out of position. Watch him slow it down. He's in the chase position right there, and McTeer Clay, the ball hits him right on the shoulder, and he didn't interfere with the receiver. That's why they didn't call face guarding.
Halleck hits it. And it goes out of bounds. Time out of the field. 13:23 to play. Fourth quarter, 13:23 to play, 27-17, Arizona State over Arizona. Steve Biziak, Tom Ramsey. You said at halftime the team that wins is not going to necessarily be the offensive team that is aggressive, but the team with the fewest mistakes.
Yeah, and I really think right now it's a game of momentum shifts, and Arizona State seems to have the momentum. Arizona with a short punt, again, gives them a little bit of a short field, and Arizona State has been wide open on offense tonight.
And here is Arizona State from the 32-yard line. Jeff Cron, play action. Scrambling. And Jeff will throw incomplete near midfield. They want a flag and they'll get it.
Interesting to see what happens, what the call will be here. Referees again in the huddle. Chuck McFerrin, the referee for tonight, discussing it with his crew. Offensive pass interference. Not really the call that Bruce Snyder was looking for. You know, Bruce Snyder.
Offensive pass interference, blocking downfield on a forward pass. 15-yard penalty. Still first down.
You know, Bruce Snyder said to us the other day, Steve, he said more peculiar things have happened in the last 2 years than what happens in some programs in 5 or 6 years. I mean, everything has culminated. And you know, it's interesting. You kind of, when a guy's down on his luck, it's an unfortunate thing. Bruce Snyder hopes that this thing does not have any effect right now on his offensive performance.
Cron rolling away from Joe Tafoya, fires. Donnie O'Neal with the catch near the 30-yard line. Michael Jolivet on the coverage. But with what Bruce has suffered the last 3 years with the injuries, my question is there too much emphasis in college football on winning?
You know, it's a game of economics now, Steve, and there's emphasis all over the country on the W's. And it, you know, sometimes too many. This is not pro football. Pro football, you're judged on wins and losses. College football, you know, are you developing young men? Where's your graduation rate? You know, do you have a good program?
Let's see what they rule this. Is it a catch? It's an incompletion. No fumble. Jolivet with the Bishop vicious hit. It was covered by a Wildcat as Richard Williams coughed it up, but he never had control of the football.
Well, I've said at the beginning of this college football season, it becomes an arms race. Let's take a look at the hit that causes the lack of possession. He never had possession. Jolivet right there making the hit, but it's become an arms race. Who has the best facilities? Who has the best off-season program? And you know, I'll tell you what, the Pac-10 has been the wild, wild west. Not since 1941 has the three teams out of the Pacific Northwest finished 1, 2, 3. That's what happened this year.
Cron scrambling. Almost picked off and then caught by Donnie O'Neal. Jolivet should have had it. There is a flag down, and it looks to be holding against the offense. But Michael Jolivet saying, you know what, it couldn't have been much easier to catch.
Boy, Michael Jolivet made a break on the ball. Almost came up with his 6th pick.
Holding on the offense. That penalty is declined. 4th down.
Jeff Cron really whips it out there, and then Jolivet breaks on the ball. Boy, he almost took it for 6. Donnie O'Neal just exhibiting great concentration, able to stay with it.
Actually, it looks a little more difficult when you show the slow-mo replay.
Yeah.
I thought it was right in his breadbasket. Now Bobby Wade back deep. Arizona needs a big play. Wade gave him 1 in the first half, bringing it back 34. Wildcats down by 10. Wade will let it go. Bounces inside the 20 to the 17-yard line. Excellent punt. When we return, we'll send you back to Kevin Frazier, a College Football Saturday studio with a preview of our Nissan halftime report.
Hey, just a reminder, when things are done in Tucson, we still have one more game on the slate. 13th ranked TCU and LaDainian Tomlinson face SMU. The nation's leading rusher gets one more chance to impress the Heisman voters. Kickoff in Dallas is set for 8:30 Eastern, but right now, let's get back to Tucson.
Thank you, Kevin, where we have 2 of the teams that are most aggressive on defense on display, Arizona State and Arizona. Leo Mills is the lone tailback. Jenkins, though, is running out of time, and he will be sacked. Kurt Wallen, 5th sack by ASU in this game, and Wallen again will limp off the field. He's done that a couple of times.
The line just is nowhere to be found that time, and Wallen just came from his defensive tackle position, but he gimps off with a lot of pain off on the sideline. He had a bad ankle coming in, and looks like that might be the cause of his pain once again.
Well, they do have replacements, whether it's Paul Glass or Danny Masaniai. They need 17 for a first down. Leo Mills breaks a tackle. Leo Mills out past the 30 for a first down. Then he fumbles. Arizona State football. Willie Daniel with the coverage. Arizona turnover.
Willie Daniel, really a great playmaker from his strong safety position. And Mills, you see him fighting for extra yards, and then, boy, stripped of the ball. Mactier Clay, number 22, came from behind and stripped the ball. And Willie Daniel coming up with a huge play for the Sun Devils, giving them short field from the 38-yard line.
We knew turnovers would be key today. So far, Arizona has 3. Arizona State has not suffered a turnover. Tom Pace with the carry. Joe Tafoya with the tackle. All of a sudden, a 10-point lead with about 10 minutes to go.
once you get the ball in these sorts of situations, you got to do something with it. Right now, a 10-point game, I tell you, as quick as Arizona can strike, it doesn't take them long. You want to be able to kind of grind away at the clock a little bit. 10:25 left in the game, and I think it's imperative if you're Arizona State to get a first down here.
Braun backs up, fires. Donnie O'Neal with the catch, leaning forward, a gain of 9 yards. Well, points off turnovers. How about this? The interception, brilliant interception by Nigel Eason. Then the block punt by Donnie O'Neal. That led to a touchdown. The fumble, this was a touchdown. Terrell Suggs falling out in the end zone. So 17 points off turnovers. Louisville has forced the most takeaways this year. Arizona State second in the nation, and with 3 today, and they came into this game tied with Arizona at 33. Cats haven't come up with any.
Hey, that's giving your team a chance right there to be involved in the game, because when you can create the turnovers, you're making stuff happen. Arizona's so tough against the run.
And they stop Tom Pace before he can get the first down. Pierce and Briggs on the tackle.
Arizona, their defense, #1 against the rush, #1 in the Pac-10, #8 in the nation. Rich Ellerson, the defensive coordinator, really does some interesting things defensively. They run a double eagle flex defense, and all that means is it's very confusing for the offensive line to put hats on people.
48 yards out, Mike Barth. He's long this year from 49. It is long enough, and it is good. Arizona State with a 13-point lead over Arizona. 30-17 at the Wildcats home field. Mike Barth from 48. College Football Saturday special edition on Fox Sports Net is brought to you by True Value, where help is just around the corner, and by the world's most popular ATVs, Honda, best on earth. Well, that Sun Devil will do as many push-ups as there are points in the scoreboard, so 30 push-ups and a much stronger Sun Devil. Andre Thurman will take it about 6 yards deep, and Arizona will start their offense from their own 20. Again, this is the 74th meeting between these two schools. We have another flag on the field. Great rivalry that started back in 1899, and Bruce Snyder talking with his special teams player. You know, look at the emotion from Bruce, and he told us earlier this week that, you know, I feel most comfortable with a whistle around my neck, a build cap, and a t-shirt. He feels he still has the emotion to coach.
After the kick was over, dead ball, personal foul on the kicking team, 15 yards, ejection.
Well, and that's why Bruce Snyder was so upset with Skylar Fulton, number 32, the special teams player, because he threw a punch. It was uncalled for, and all these players know, Steve, anytime there's a punch thrown, it's not even a question. It's an automatic ejection.
So if Arizona State wins, he will miss the first half of the bowl game in Hawaii.
That's correct.
8:45 left in the game. Jenkins shotgun. He's got everybody split out and fires incomplete to Manu Maliuna. Good coverage from a kid named Mason Unk. Love that play. That's like a halfback getting hit in the stomach by Mason Unk.
That's a real linebacker's name right there, Mason Unk. Sophomore out of Ogden, Utah.
Second and 10. Ortiz needs to do it now. He finds Bobby Wade, and Wade just slicing around and spinning and takes it near a first down, and then a flag goes down. Alfred Williams with the tackle. Williams upset with himself. I'm wondering if there was a face mask grab in there, which would give the Wildcats a first and 10.
On the tackle, personal foul, face mask on the defense, 15 yards. First down.
Just what Bruce Snyder doesn't want to have happen. Give Arizona, oh yeah, they almost tear Bobby Wade's head off there with his face mask, and sure enough the flag comes out. But if you're Bruce Snyder, being 2 scores away, you don't want Arizona to have any momentum here, and that type of a penalty will really give an offense to boost.
Jenkins scrambling away from pressure and finds his man Brad Brennan at the 30, and Brennan's to the 22-yard line. Adam Archuleta on the tackle. Well, Jenkins with a nice-looking drive. I remember 2 years ago we were doing a Arizona game against Washington, and you said Ortiz Jenkins has to get it to Dennis Northcutt. Yeah. Tonight it's either Wade or Brennan.
Well, I remember that right there. Brennan does a nice job coming back. It ends up being a gain of 19. Adam Archuleta finally hammers him down.
Now Jenkins under center. They'll run Larry Kroom. Nice cutback by Larry. He is inside the 20 to about the 17-yard line. You know, everybody remembers the leap by the lake when Jenkins went into the end zone last play of the game and beat Washington. They called it the leap by the lake. But on that drive, what I remember is 3 times you said, get it to number 6. And Jenkins 3 times threw it to Dennis Northcutt on 3rd down for critical conversions. Here is Kroom. Kroom inside the 10. Or was it get it to number 8?
Get it to number 8 for 6 points.
Exactly. Number 8 for 6.
Larry Kroom right there at number 5. Coming in, spelling both Clarence Farmer and Leo Mills. And that 3-headed running back knocking off some yards for Arizona tonight.
Now 1st and goal at the 9. Blitz on. They run Kroom. Larry escapes for what should have been about a 2-yard loss and gains about 4. McTeer Clay on the tackle. Time winding down inside 7 when they get the next play off.
Just a good job by the Arizona offensive line right now. Patchwork by Charlie Dickey, the offensive line coach. Doing a nice job on this drive. The guys are coming off and sustaining their blocks.
Jenkins, Kroom. This time they read it beautifully. And Quincy Yancey is there for the tackle. The tallest Sun Devil at 6'8", 272.
Quincy Yancey is one big player from the defensive end position. Boy, just a great hit in the backfield. He knifes off, comes right up the middle, and just pounds Larry Kroom.
So a loss in the play. Yancey occupies that right side. 3rd and goal. 4 down territory. End zone. Incomplete. Bobby Wade was defended beautifully by McTeer Clay. And it's 4th and goal.
McTeer Clay has stepped up his level of play. He's taken on the challenge, going one-on-one with Arizona's best, Bobby Wade, and you see his stride for stride. He comes in and jars Bobby Wade. He does not get his head around. He just drives his arms up into the area where Wade had his hands, and the ball goes incomplete.
Down 13, they must go for it. Game right here. Incomplete. Wade had about 4 white jerseys around him, and they'll turn it back over to the Sun Devils.
I just watched Ortiz Jenkins all the way from when he took his back pedal when he threw the ball, and then his reaction after he threw it. And well, I tell you, just a frustrated young man. You see just a quick 3-step drop, turns and tries to fire it inside, and Wade saw the defenseman coming, and you see the frustration on Ortiz Jenkins.
He had to throw it to the end zone, though. He had to throw it to the end zone. They could not get a first down, and he chose to throw it to the wide receiver at the 5-yard line. Now Pace, the running back, and they will run the fullback, and the Wildcats all over that play. Mike Carney. Sunday, we're bringing the tailgate party to you with NFL This Morning on Fox Sports Net, the most raucous and rocking Sunday morning pregame show anywhere. This week, Chris Myers, Jay Moore, and the rest of the Breakfast Bunch discuss if Ray Lewis is the best player in the NFL. Jackie Slater gives the Chargers a game plan to beat the Chiefs, and a live interview with Vikings coach Dennis Green. NFL This Morning at 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific, only on Fox Sports Net. Here in Tucson, Dick Tomey versus Bruce Snyder, Arizona versus Arizona State. Timeout situations left, Wildcats with 1.
Bruce Snyder on the sideline talking to his offensive coordinator, John Pettis. John Pettis talking to Jeff Cron, and as long as they get the right personnel out on the field, figure they have a pretty good chance here. Crowd's all painted up.
He's either embarrassed or cold, blue or red. Arizona State with a 13-point lead, and it has been because of mistakes by Arizona. The Sun Devils have scored 13 points on 3 Arizona turnovers, plus the 7 off the block punt. 20 points off Arizona mistakes. Cron on second down, going for the home run, incomplete. Intended for Donnie O'Neal. 3rd down and 9.
John Pettis, you got to like the fact they're backed up deep, and Pettis unafraid to call for a deep ball. Donnie O'Neal with a great set of wheels. Pettis there. Right there is John Pettis, the offensive coordinator and architect of that offense for Bruce Snyder's team. Pettis, I'm sure, will be a very hot commodity as soon as their season is done. There's a lot of teams out there looking for some offense.
They will run Pace, and Tom will not get the first down, but they did eat a minute and a half off the clock. Jermaine Chapman on the tackle. Well, Arizona State got it going in the second half. Remember, at halftime, they had, 23 yards rushing on 12 carries, and they've mixed it up. Jeff Cron has picked it up at a place where his dad starred here in the late 70s. Father Jim Cron was the quarterback at Arizona. And this was Jim Cron, 1976 to 79. He finally beat Arizona State for the first time as a senior in 1979, a 27-24 thriller after 3 losses. Now Jeff, as a redshirt freshman, walking on at the one Pac-10 school who said, "We will take you." Arizona State. Arizona just took their last time out, so they will need help. Well, I will say this. Oregon beat Arizona State down by 14 with a lot less time than this, Rams.
Well, and if you're Arizona, your defense did what you wanted them to do, which is stop the Sun Devils. You're going to get the ball back in your hands, and with 5:39 left, Steve, no timeouts, every play becomes so important. And what will end up happening, no huddle. You got to get the ball down the field vertically. You can't bother throwing the short screen or trying to get the ball underneath to a back. You got to get the ball down the field to the wideouts. And
here is Nick Murphy. His job, unload on that football. And you know they'll be receiving some pressure from Arizona.
And the one thing, Bobby Wade becomes the X factor because he returned one earlier tonight for 34. A couple weeks ago versus Washington, he took one back 60 yards for a touchdown.
Arizona comes from the inside. Murphy gets it off, end over end. Wade with a chance. Bobby eludes one. And and he will make it up to the 43-yard line. 52 yards in the punt by Nick Murphy. 5:26 left in this football game. Pac-10 bowl picture pretty good with two teams at 10-1 and another at 9-2. Washington won the trip to the Rose Bowl by beating Washington State last week. Oregon State then knocked off Oregon, knocking the Ducks out of the Rose Bowl picture. With three teams in this conference in the top 10 for the first time in a while.
Right, and Washington, by virtue of beating Miami earlier in the year, they could still slip into a 1 versus 2 and be an Orange Bowl recipient, and then Oregon State will play in the Rose.
Jenkins stepping up. Ortiz trying to throw it away. It is incomplete. Let's go down on the sideline to Lewis Johnson.
Hey, Steve, here's a great example of what this game means to players. Arizona State defensive lineman Kurt Wallen came off the field earlier. Trainers were looking at his right knee. Guy was in big-time pain. They taped him up. They told him, you need to be careful. He said, hey, this is Arizona and Arizona State. I want back out on the field. It's just how much it meant to him.
Kurt Wallen, a 22-year-old junior. Up for a 2-year Mormon mission. Said he had a lot of energy to come back, and he has competed hard in this game. Bobby Wade. Not a lot. It'll still be third down with 5:13 remaining.
And Steve, this is where I think you got to get vertical right now. Underneath Bobby Wade, watch him to comes down into the line of scrimmage, and I tell you, that is a dangerous throw. Terrell Suggs, the big defensive end, is out there in pass coverage. Wade kind of slipping around. It creates a 3rd and long.
So Jenkins looking, scrambling, fumbling, and Arizona covers it. It'll be 4th down. Down by 13 points. They may be going for it right here again. Why not?
Reggie Sampay, the big freshman guard, there to cover the ball. Ortiz Jenkins eludes the rush, but then, boy, Quincy Yancey came from the backside, put the hammer on Ortiz Jenkins, and right now Arizona's season boils down to this play.
4th and 12. Jenkins in trouble, trying to throw, incomplete. Arizona State takes over on downs. Terrell Suggs, they just could not block him, and they have not been able to block the 18-year-old freshman from Chandler, Arizona tonight. He has had a wonderful game.
This has got to bring a lot of joy to Bruce Snyder, knowing that his players are laying out for him, and just a great play. Terrell Suggs stays after it, and breaks the arm of Ortiz Jenkins before slamming him in the turf. And again, the pressure of Arizona State's defense, too much for the Wildcats to overcome.
Cron runs Tom Pace. Pace dropped for a yard loss. Next on a special edition of College Football Saturday, it's the 3rd game of our triple header as number 13 TCU battles SMU. It's coming up next on Fox Sports Net. Check your local listings. LaDainian Tomlinson, the best running backs in college football, against the Mustangs. Well, Ortiz Jenkins, senior, here in Tucson, Arizona. He has started on and off the last 4 years. Not enough against Arizona State. 3.5 to go. Pace carries, and again he's stuffed, but Arizona cannot stop the clock. They've used up all 3 of their timeouts.
Boy, really interesting. The call was made on Bruce Snyder, over a week ago, in terms of him losing his job and his staff. And you got to ask yourself, did they pull the trigger too soon? He might end up with 2 wins to finish out the season. And considering how many times they played in overtime games, so NCAA consecutive 3 in a row, and the parity of the Pac-10, I tell you, they lose a great coach.
You're absolutely right. He says he has a lot of energy left. He still loves coaching football.
Well, the one thing he'll want to do, Steve, get back in the Pac-10, and it's all about redemption.
You're absolutely right. Well, Arizona State looks like they are heading to a bowl game again, just like they spoiled the Wildcat plans a year ago when Arizona would lose that football game in Tempe 42-27. First place in the Pac-10 goes to the Rose, second place to the Holiday, third place to the Sun. And we know that Wisconsin is apparently going to the Sun Bowl in El Paso. Fourth place, Aloha Bowl, and the fifth place, the Oahu Bowl. Two minutes remaining in this Southwest shootout between Arizona State and Arizona. Sun Devils lead by 13 points, and they have a fourth down here. Nick Murphy trying to boot it to Bobby Wade, who stands inside the 10-yard line. The only chance. Big play here. Onside kick.
Bobby Wade is one player who can take it 95, and I know if it's inside the 10-yard line, he'll go ahead and field this one.
Murphy gets it off. Just kind of angles it. Wade racing over to pick it up. Bobby tied down inside the 5-yard line. Great punt by Murphy and terrific coverage by his teammates. Well, we talked with Bruce Snyder, who will win this football game, about his future.
I hold something really wonderful and spectacular. I have no idea what it is. There's an opportunity out there for an old coach, and I'm not sure what it is, but I've got a lot of energy, a lot of life, a lot of integrity, a lot of pride. Something good's out there.
So you remember the guy who was the bartender at the Paddock in Eugene, Oregon? That was Bruce Snyder so many years ago. Then his old friend John Robinson talked him into walking on and being a volunteer assistant at Oregon for Len Casanova. Right at the goal line, Terrell Suggs with another tackle. And Suggs double figures in sacks in his first year of college football. Well, Suggs had a lot of votes for our TiVo player of the game, but in special teams, how about Mike Barth for the lead?
How about it? Turn it into a running back.
He's also kicked 3 field goals. Second and 13 for Arizona. Bobby Wade with the catch. The executive producers of Fox Sports Net are Arthur Smith and Bill Borson. The coordinating producers of College Football Saturday are Roy Hamilton and Gary Don Garcia. Today's game was produced by Mark Shaw and directed by Doug Freeman. Outstanding job by those guys. The College Football Saturday studio show was produced by Lloyd Maxson and directed by Joe Woitis. The director of field operations is Debbie Kilmartin. First down, Brad Brennan. Brennan, though, instead of getting out of bounds, stayed in. Hey, a special thanks also to our great crew every Saturday and here on a Friday night. Pac-10 football to Ken Kirschbaum and Mitch Reinhardt, Kyle Reichling, Judd Mazer, Jason Cardona, Cinda Owens, Mark Wiedemann, Mark Ancliffe, Andy Kirshner, Ricardo Avila, John Lee, Dave Walcott, John Bidstrup, Brad Krieger, Doug Mann, Tim Denmark, Jeff Berg, Sarah Takata, John Hefner, and Brian Nettles. It takes a lot of great people to make this show work. It takes a lot of great people to win college football games, and there is a happy man tonight.
Well, Steve, you know what it takes more importantly? It takes committed people, and, you know, all the people you just mentioned, very committed to making this show the best, and we have a lot of fun doing it.
We do. Special thanks to you, partner.
Hey.
Big handshake. I love working with Tom Ramsey and Lewis Johnson on the sideline. Arizona State getting ready to put that lei around their neck and go to Hawaii. Aloha will mean hello. Ortiz Jenkins in a mess. Suggs was there. Solomon Bates, Quincy Yancey. The Bates Motel is still open.
I have Coach Visiak still promoting me for Clock Manager of the Year, don't I?
Yes, you are. Bruce Snyder fired 9 days ago. Inspired his troops, and they came through with a wonderful win at Tucson, Arizona.
Yeah, both head coaches, class guys. Unfortunately, one team has to lose there. Arizona State, though, looking to go on to a bowl game on Christmas Day in Hawaii, and that will be a special treat for all the players and the coaches.
Ortiz Jenkins, the senior, who suffered a game, a 13-point loss, but mainly because of mistakes by everyone on that Arizona side. Ortiz threw an interception that resulted in 3 points. They had a blocked field goal that went for 7. Another fumble that resulted in a touchdown. And Arizona State, in the 74th game of this rivalry, wins it 30-17. And Arizona State goes to 6-5, and they will be going to Hawaii to play in a bowl game. Arizona finishes their season at 5-6. It's going to be a happy drive for those fans as they head north to Tempe, Arizona for that 2-hour drive. They will face a Big East or Atlantic Coast Conference opponent in Hawaii.
Not a lot of teams out of the ACC other than the one big one, Florida State. And I'm kidding around. Clemson's had a good year. Georgia Tech has had a good year as well.
All right, let's go down to the sideline. Lewis Johnson has winning coach Bruce Snyder.
Thanks so much. We're able to hustle him over here. Coach, could you have ever imagined 9 days ago you were let go, came down to this, came down to a half, and you've got another game of life?
Well, you know, I'm just terribly proud of my team. They have overcome it. The people, I think, out in the public don't know how much they've overcome this season. And this is one other thing they overcame. I'm proud of them. I'm proud of my staff. We played very hard tonight. It meant a lot to us. It had very little to do with me. I think it involves this game against our arch rival and about our team members. So I'm just really proud of them.
But, you know, it seemed to have something to do with you because I saw guys making plays that maybe we hadn't seen in the last couple of weeks. Didn't you see that?
Well, we were really, you know, the last 2 games, we were really decimated, but they sucked it up. And if they did it for me, God bless them, but I don't think so. I really believe that the game is the game itself, and it has nothing to do with the coaches. It's the players making plays.
I know you've got one more. You don't know where it'll be. It'll be a bowl game somewhere, maybe with some nice drinks and warm weather. But what's in the future for you after that? What are you thinking about?
Well, my most immediate thing is I'm going to go into that locker room, and I'm going to celebrate with my team.
We've held you up long enough.
Thanks, everybody.
Congratulations, Coach. Steve, back up to you.
You know what? He is one of the class guys in college football, and I believe his youngsters played for him tonight.
Well, they really did. It's just, it's interesting, you know, what young guys will do for their coaches. And Bruce Snyder's a real, you know, I tell you, he's an attribute to college football. Let's hope it's not all about wins and losses, although, you know, so many times it is. But at the end of the day, you know, the young men that are developed is probably the most important thing.
Arizona State with a 30-17 victory over Arizona. And it's the Sun Devils headed to Hawaii and the bowl game. Todd Heap is heading to a bowl game in Hawaii. So that's it from Arizona Stadium, where the final score is ASU 30, Arizona 17. Stay tuned for most of you. Coming up next is number 13 TCU against SMU. My great partner Tom Ramsey, the former quarterback and management of the time of every game. And my sideline partner Lewis Johnson. I'm Steve Visiak. College Football Saturday has been a presentation of Fox Sports Net. Have a great weekend, everyone.